You don't pay it down. What's up? What's up? Hey, 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 hey. Oh, uh, 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 uh. Another day. What's happening? Nate Ways in the building. Nate Ways in the building. Oh, yeah. Whew. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Salute K Solo in the building. Sebastian Kim, Alan Lindsay, Unij, Georgia Swan, Stephanie McCoy, Society of Benevolence in the building. Oh, man. Whew. Let's go, Brandon. Chitterling favorite lip gloss. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Chitlin favorite lip gloss. Salute to Nate Ways, always getting the show started off right. Get the $5 challenge started off right. Let's make it a good Friday. Woo! I'm gonna drop the link early. I'm gonna drop the link early tonight, man. Since I'm getting started late, I'm gonna drop the link early tonight, man. Ugh. Y'all ain't right, man. Last night the show was lit though. I ain't gonna lie though, man. Things got real litty. I can't lie, man. Things took an unexpected turn last night, man. Things took an unexpected turn. I can't lie. Woo! Things took an unexpected turn, man. Salute to everybody watching on Rumble, man. Things took an unexpected turn, man. Woo! He said midnight basketball was wild. Oh shit. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Y'all are hysterical, man. Y'all are... Shout out to PL Sandridge, man. PL Sandridge says, Opt awake for the live. Hats off for Nate Mayo Brown Sugar. And our beloved Bossy. Here we go. Oh my god. Man. Listen, man. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm processing things, man. I'm still processing things, man. So I'm just, I'm just still processing things. So I'm just, you know, sometimes, you just best, just process things, and everybody processes things on their own time. Oh shit. Here you go, man. The man of the hour, man. What's up,
What's up?
man? What's happening, man?
Still alive. How about you?
Our
Yeah,
Lord and Savior should have been at that school today.
yeah, definitely.
Mossy, where were you when that happened?
I was working on my truck.
What's up, fisherman? What's going on?
What's up?
Yeah, man. I don't. This is the guy in the background, Data T. I don't know who the hell that is. I never heard of him, but yeah, it's a lot going on, man. We're gonna warm it up, man. We're gonna warm up the show, man. There's a lot going on, man. Ah, man, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, man. Um, like, let's see this one. Let's see this one. I'm gonna let y'all.
All this drama unfolded right here behind me in this large parking lot of liquor store you see over here. According to police, an estranged husband.
Mossy, you smashing that?
Hold on, you got a lot of background, WP, man. You got a lot of background. He said, "Boss, man, y'all, yeah, man, we gonna let Marcy speak his piece, man. I mean, Marcy, I'm sure the people still have questions, man. I mean, I know they do, but we gonna, we people still have a lot of questions.
All this drama unfolded right here behind me in this large parking lot of liquor store you see over here. According to police, an estranged husband met up with his former wife and her new boyfriend. And well, as you might imagine, it didn't take
That never is a good idea. Don't do that, okay? Especially not in 2023.
long for things to turn ugly. An estranged husband is locked up, and the lover is dead after a meeting between the two ended with one of them having an axe.
This is essentially a safe area for the most part. So it's startling to begin with that it would happen here.
What does that mean? Can somebody decode that for me?
I don't know, but the audio sounds real bad to me.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Audio's bad? How about the other people? Audio's bad?
Yeah.
Okay. What is this? It's clicking? It's clicking? Is that what it's doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
What up? What up?
What did it do?
What's up, Gen Z?
What's good, man? How y'all doing?
Oh, not
What
much.
kind of clubs were you in college, Z?
Clubs, as in.
Just what were your clubs in college?
I mean, I played football, so I didn't really have that much time for clubs and shit.
No, you were no part of no alliances or nothing like that. No cotton candy alliances or nothing.
Cotton candy, hell nah.
Yo, they had the Blue Oyster Alliance.
The Blue Oyster Alliance.
WP, you got a lot of noise in the background.
Still?
Yeah, it's like you standing. It's like you stand on an overpass or something.
Sound like that nigga in the subway.
Yeah,
I am in transit. Let me mute my mic.
Yeah. So yeah. Listen. Anybody? You didn't see the show last night, Gen Z? The last hour.
Nah, I didn't.
Things went off the rails, man.
Oh shit.
Things went off the rails, man. I'm still processing everything. And it's not to like make any assumptions about anybody or anything like that. I know you are you're a straight dude and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. It's befuddling, Mossy. Like I'm befuddled, man. What the hell?
Hold on, what happened? What happened?
Well,
Marcy, speak your piece.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcy. Explain it. Maybe
Okay, go ahead.
Gen Z's from Atlanta. He may understand more.
Yes. So I was talking about a time when I was in college. This is back in 2009, and it was related to a story that popped up. There was,
hey, when y'all come up, man, can y'all please mute y'all? Have the background not playing with. It's like y'all. Some of y'all been up here 50,000 times, man. Is it? When does it click in? Don't have the background playing. Don't have no loud noise in the background, please, man. Thank you. Go ahead, Marcy.
There was a story, and then it was shown that there was I guess some alphabet people who lived in this neighborhood, and so it was the question of would we choose to live in the Stand, or I guess Rainbowville, and I said I can handle living in Rainbowville, and they were asking me how would you do that, and I said, well, it's not. I said I'm not scared of these people,
right?
And I talked about how I was in college. There was a group I joined called BGLSA, called Bi Gay Lesbian Straight Alliance, and I joined because I knew I was at the time I was a poli-sci major, and I knew nothing about. I was around a bunch of different people, and that was a group that was around in that major. So I figured, well, I had the time to kill. Let me go to this organization and just see what these people are. Let me just see what they're about, because where I came from, back in Manning, South Carolina, I knew nothing about that culture, about that lifestyle. All I've heard was what everyone else says. So let me go into it head first and see what it's all about.
Can you explain to us what everyone else was saying about that group?
I mean, it was a majority gay, lesbian, and bi people there. I was the only S. I was virtually the only S in that organization.
So are you cleaning up on the lesbian women, or?
No, like I said, it was it was like an independent study. I knew nothing about that culture, so I figured, well, why not just, because I said, like I had told a friend of mine that I went to this meeting, and he said, he said, make you nervous, anything? I said, no. I said they didn't. I mean, I wasn't. They didn't cause me. They didn't cause any fear in me. I wasn't afraid of them.
So hold on.
I
No, of
just-
course.
No, but it seems like you're doing the whole phobic thing, and like no one's afraid of them. Like
Right.
it doesn't. That's not what. Like no one's afraid. Like
No.
I'm-
But what he meant by afraid was, was I worried about getting hit on? I said no. I'm not worried about getting hit on. I'm not worried about anybody touching me. It was more of a matter of I could defend myself. You know, I could use my
Why put
fist.
yourself in those crosshairs? I think that's. And listen, I'm gonna let the guys ask questions, but this is just my last question. I'm gonna let the other guys jump in. Why even put yourself in those crosshairs?
Well, in order to know more about a particular opinion or type of a particular lifestyle, you gotta go out. I figure you gotta go out there and see what it's about.
I mean, what much do you have to learn outside of niggas having butt sex? I'm trying to figure out like what else about the lifestyle besides like the heavy drug usage and butt sex are you trying to familiarize yourself with? I guess that would be my question.
Well, one thing I said in the first meeting, one of the things I talked about was I was conservative, and one of the hobbies I mentioned was I like fixing guns, and it's like I use the expression. It's like I ripped the head off a rabbit right in the middle of the classroom because everybody just kind of backed away from me, and I was like, and I thought that was peculiar. I said, why? All I did was say an interest I had, and it almost frightened people. It almost frightened them. So it was me. It basically was like just me learning more about people who people in that category. How do they think? What aside from the sex stuff, what interests? Like I was political science, so there was always these topics that came up in discussions. Like gay marriage, for example, stuff like that. And so I said, well, it's hard. I can't really form a solid opinion on where I stood unless I actually go out there and talk to people who are in that camp. And so it was a way of figuring out where I stood on what kind of way, how can I strengthen my arguments, or where did I stand on particular topics. And the only way I can do that is if I purposely put them to the test. I purposely go out and have them challenged. And that's how I was able to know more about people on that side, know more about my where I stood on particular topics.
So with your opinion though, like with your opinion on those subjects of like gun rights and being more right of center, did you find yourself alienated in that group, or did they kind of embrace you and take you in? Because you said that, hey, I mentioned I like guns, putting them back together or whatnot, and everybody kind of parted the Red Sea. So I'm trying to figure out, did they kind of embrace you and bring you in, or were you just like some guy sitting in the back of the class listening to whatever was being discussed in these meetings?
I did mostly listening, and I was welcome, and I was later welcomed. Like no one, they weren't gonna try to throw me out or make
No,
it.
but what is the point? Hold on, but Monty, because I don't want to put people to sleep. What is the like? Why? Like, and I think I don't know if anybody else feels that way. Like, why? I want Day chop in there, Day.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I feel you. I get what you're saying, Marcy and stuff. I get your perspective, but at the same time, I don't. Because like they had that when I was in school. They had that when I was in high school, middle school, and in college. But at the same time, it's like everybody else saying it's self-explanatory. I get what you're saying. Like you grew up in like a very conservative lifestyle and everything, so you just wanted to learn it. But I mean, there's really nothing to learn. It's like I said, it's self-explanatory, and I don't really feel like you. I mean, I get your perspective, but you don't have to understand them. You don't have to be all logical and like understanding them everything. Some things are not meant to understand. Keep it silent.
Mossy was talking guns. They thought he was talking about penises.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get being curious, but You know, I just don't. I just don't.
But here's the thing, Black Gypsy. He went to the class for a year and a half.
Yeah, that's where it lost me. Like I fell out of my
Yeah.
fucking chair. I was listening to that shit earlier. The year and a half thing, that was like
Year and a half is a little long.
That's
yeah.
a long ass time. I can understand a couple visits, and it's like, okay, these people are different. But
Well,
damn.
did you befriend any of the gays there? You know, did you ever become at least a friend with some of them?
Well, before I even knew the organization existed, I actually
And
found
Marcy,
out
yeah. Please get to
keep
it.
keep it short.
No, just answer the question. Yeah.
Before I was there, yes, I had some friends that found out they were gay.
Mm.
And in a way, he's basically summed up in the chat. He said Marcy was sheltered. That's all. That's all. It's really what it was. I had no idea that culture existed. Same as how I didn't know atheism existed. And I just met people like that in college. I said, okay, well, I know where I stand, but I know nothing about this. I know nothing about this. So let me
when you find out that you're the only person like us there.
Yeah.
And like, at what point is it like, all right, a month goes by, 6 months go by? What were you still, and please just answer the question quickly, what were you still trying to learn after 6 months?
What were their concerns concerning like safety? Because at the time I was very into self-defense, and so I was figuring out what was their concerns, because a lot of them they were worried about like gay bashing was something I was concerned, and I said, okay, well, where do you stand when it comes to?
How long does it take to Okay, so
were you trying to teach them like some AMA or MMA jiu-jitsu moves and rolling on the mat with them, or like
no?
What?
Well,
Okay.
no, nothing like that. No, just like I said, just figuring out where they stood on topics like that. Because
how long does it take to find that out? Like, for instance, like right here, I could find out that tonight. If I had a bunch of them on here right tonight, I could find out all of that tonight.
And they're not holding anything back. They talk. They talk. So it's like,
yeah, they got
probably get everything you need in a couple minutes.
They're very brutally honest, though. They don't have any what's the word?
Filter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayo, fuck no, dude. Lesbians are the most liar-and ass bitches there are.
No, we're talking about gay men specifically, but
hold on. I want to ask Mayo what he thinks about this, man. Because Mayo's his partner in crime, the Mayo Marcy connection, man. I want to know what did you know about this?
I'm still laughing over the fucking really bad choice of words like head first.
Yeah.
Right. Oh shit.
Right. No, Marcy, like Mayo. This is like were you aware of this? Like, did you know about this, or this was a shock to you?
No, this was a shock to me. It's especially the year and a half.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So in that year and a half, did you ever have any tingly feelings inside about, maybe attending the class, maybe some butterflies before you go in there, or
no?
Okay, just straight stoicism throughout. The discussions on sodomy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, someone in the chat asked last night, did I have a girlfriend at the time? I said, I did. And what does she think? Yeah, tell me this. What does she think about this? She wasn't concerned. She was more progressive minded, but she knew who I was, and she wasn't concerned one bit.
Okay.
Was she a glider?
Yeah, she was an art major too.
What? So wait a minute. How long was it till you went to the gay bar?
I don't remember.
Yeah, sister wouldn't have been. I don't think a sister could have rocked that.
Nah.
No. Ain't gonna tolerate that.
No, sir.
I don't think a sister rocks with that for a year and a half. I think if after the first time you mentioned it to her, she looking at you sideways.
Yeah.
Sister. So you had a glider at that time. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, man. And now, here's the thing. I'm just like. The reason I'm perplexed is because, what is the meeting like? Just answer the question. Like, you come in, you sit down in a pew or you sit down in a auditorium or classroom, and it's like AA meeting, people get up and talk. Like, what is it like?
It's a class. It takes place in a classroom set. They took place in classrooms. They just talked about any local events, discussion of safe sex, anything. I guess anything political that was going on at the time. That's basically it. And
Do they
just
talk about like lifestyle, like how they hang out and what they do in their personal time?
Rarely. That didn't come up much.
I would imagine it's a mainly political group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It was-
talking
like I said,
about
it was-
gay politics and issues.
Yeah,
like most of these college, most of these college groups are.
Yeah.
Essentially, like I said, I was in poli sci, and that was I saw arguments like that, and so I said, well, let me find out more, so I can actually, like I said, so I know where I stood, and I know how to have basically how to have civil discourse with someone who's different from myself.
Now, when the class was over, like, how did you leave? Did they have to like kick you out, or was it like, did you leave on your volition? Were you like, how did you stop going?
I left. I left on my own. That's a whole other story. I don't think I'll get into.
Okay.
It's something entirely different, and
okay.
But I essentially left on my own.
Okay.
I have a question. Did you feel like, and this was not an attack on you. This is like, I'm just asking. Did you feel like, because you sound like, just by the tone of your voice and by the way you speak, it sounds like, I'm guessing. Did you feel like you didn't feel very connected to the Black community? So was that like your way to have like a community? I know you said you're not in that community, but did you feel like that was like a group you could connect to? Because I'm feeling the way you speak and everything, it feel like you don't really fuck with niggas like that. So
no, that wasn't it. In fact, there were black people and there were black people there.
Yeah,
there were a few black people there, but really, race had nothing to do with it.
So now tell me this. All right. Now here's my thing that I just let me let NYC Glatterman jump in there, man. Go ahead, NYC Glatterman.
Well, I got it in the middle of this. I'm not even sure I know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me let Wicked jump in there.
What up, boys? Love y'all. No homo.
That was a good one.
Yo, Blake Gen Z, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
We had like a quick question yesterday. Where would you rather live, I guess? The Stand or like in a zesty neighborhood, I guess? If you had,
I'm rocking with the zesty neighborhood. I mean, they be cool though.
Yeah, they are. They keep to themselves. I think they're clean, right?
Yeah. Clean,
but
chill.
I said I'd throw me in the Stand. You know what I mean? But you gotta understand, Gen Z, I'm not worried about me. I got shorties that I'm trying to,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. My respects to everybody that, respects others, yada yada. But you
want to make sure they don't get exposed to that type of stuff at a young age.
Brainwash, like they gotta go to school and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I just don't want to have to worry about anything,
Yeah, some diddlers.
And I was telling them yesterday that, I come from a rough neighborhood. I'm familiar with violence. I understand it. I could teach them on that. But I don't know. I'm not familiar with, other shit.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man. That was an interesting revelation. Now let me. Now that we got that, I just wanted to let Marcy. Because I know people had more questions that they didn't get to last night. Because
you were talking about zesty neighborhoods. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like the Village and stuff like that. Would you rather live in the Village or?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've noticed. The zesties are always the knife's edge of gentrification.
True.
Like it starts like that, and then they like set up their little like, you know, like art studios and stuff like that, and little places, and they kind of upgrade the whole neighborhood, because we all know that zesty people make way more money than straight people do.
Facts.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, it's something I've definitely observed. Then everybody else moves in.
Yeah,
You know, after they've completely priced everybody out of the neighborhood.
that's true. That's true.
So,
That's a great point. I saw that. I noticed they called them urban pioneers in DC.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing, this reminds me of, remember Rodney Dangerfield, like when he would sit down with like Carson and, you know, like crack him up like crazy after he did a set, right? So he was sitting there saying, you know, hey, I don't get any respect. You know, I can't get any respect. I even tried going gay. And then Carson says, what was that like? He says, it was terrible. I went to a gay bar. It was 5 guys to every guy.
That's funny.
Let me see. We got salute to Aaron for the Cash App. Salute to Nate Ways for the dub on the Cash App. Salute to Stunner. Stunner gonna sit this one out, man. That's probably better, man. Yeah, man. So then let me get back into the news, because we got a lot to get into tonight, man. It's a lot, man. And I started pretty late, man. It's a lot to get into, man. We gotta get into this shooting in Virginia, but I'm gonna just warm it up right quick. So let's go.
All this drama unfolded right here behind me in this large parking lot of the liquor store you see over here. According to police, an estranged husband met up with his former wife and her new boyfriend. And well,
Never do that.
as you might imagine, it didn't take long for things to turn ugly. An estranged husband is locked up and a lover is dead after a meeting between the two ended with one of them having an axe.
This is essentially a safe area for the most part, so it's startling to begin with that it would happen here.
Police say the trouble began when 47-year-old Dimitro Lapko confronted his estranged wife and her boyfriend, Levon Beldava. In this,
Give me a ideal Dimitro and Levon.
Well, there. I mean, I saw a picture of the victim. She's a glider.
The victim is a glider. Hold on, time out. The victim is a man, right?
No. It's a female. It was a fight over a woman.
He killed the woman.
No, he killed the guy, I
He
think.
killed the other guy. Yeah, he killed the other
Yeah.
guy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the woman is
Yeah,
is
man
glider.
charged with killing
Right,
a
right.
strange
So
wife's
the woman
boyfriend.
is a glider, and I'm assuming that everybody involved in this, I think the gliders have gotten on the scoreboard tonight.
So you're saying the glider's name is Dimitro? He might be named. Maybe he's Italian.
Italian, yeah.
Yeah, I think the gliders have gotten one on the scoreboard tonight.
The Italians are with
Lapko
me.
planned his estranged wife
Let's see.
in this area on Ocean and Voorhees Avenue, or if he surprised her.
Voorhees.
Police say Lapko lives in Staten Island. Around 9
Yeah,
p.m.
yeah. Staten Island and that neighborhood is like Russians and Eastern Europeans, and then you got a guy from Staten Island, man, gliders.
Island is like 60% Italian, man. That's where
Yeah.
Pete Davidson is from.
Oh, okay.
Witnesses said they heard a lot of angry yelling coming from here, and then several gunshots. According to police, Lapko came armed. They say when the fighting started, Lapko pulled out a hatchet and struck the boyfriend, Beldava, in the head. But that wasn't. Police say he then pulled out a handgun and shot the boyfriend in the chest, firing off multiple rounds.
This gentleman came prepared. He had a hatchet, he had a gun. He didn't. It's not like this happened at the spur of the moment. It appears that from the little that I gathered, he planned this.
When police arrived, they say they found Beldava bleeding on the ground with Lapko's estranged wife next to him, pointing at her estranged husband, who was still at the scene. Beldava, who was from Brooklyn, was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The estranged husband, Lapko, was taken into custody.
This gentleman who was murdered, who he may have parents, children, sisters, brothers, he may have co-workers, bosses, he may have employees. There's a ripple effect.
The suspect, 47-year-old Dimitro Lapko, is in jail behind bars tonight. He has been charged with murder, along with 2 separate criminal possession of weapons charges. One charge for the handgun and another for the hatchet he allegedly had on him.
Now I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody's taste, but you got to see a picture of the woman who this was over. Okay, I mean, really,
God.
you couldn't find somebody else, really. I mean,
You get you get what you can get, man. If that's the best they could do, that's the best they could do.
Yeah, but you're gonna kill somebody over that and spend the rest of your life in prison because he's a glider. He's going to prison forever.
If
Yeah,
that's that might be their Tyra Banks, bro. That might be the best he could get.
You seen TK was asking to have a chance at adulthood?
Yeah, we'll get to that. We're gonna get to that, man.
You saw that on CT's?
Yeah, you can't make this shit up.
Yeah, it's but a lot of black people was rocking with him. That's what.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because he pulled that one trigger on him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. Did he kill anybody?
He killed multiple people. That's the kid.
multiple people.
We'll get to.
He did. Okay,
we'll
then he goes to jail in New York. Okay,
we'll get to it in a minute.
We begin with breaking news out of Newport News, and it is very disturbing. Police are on the scene of a shooting inside an elementary school.
A school spokesperson says a teacher was shot at Rich Neck Elementary. Sources from the school system tell 10 on Your Side that a student shot that teacher.
Now, officers responded to the school on Tyner Drive just after 2 this afternoon.
Police say no children were hurt. Chopper 10 was just above this very busy scene.
We have several crews on this breaking story. 10 on Your Side's Haley Mylon is at the school right now.
Haley, what have you learned?
Hey, Regina, Stephanie, sorry, we're just keeping an eye on this here. It's still a very active scene, and first responders are moving in and out of the perimeter here. We are right up on the crime tape where Rich Neck Elementary School taped off to the public. Only parents looking to reunify with their students are allowed past this tape right now. Keep in mind, this all happened less than 2 hours ago. Now, we have confirmed that an adult female teacher was shot inside of a classroom. Only one injury reported. She was transported to a local hospital for treatment. We're told by Police Chief Steve Drew that all of the students, I thought we were going to get new information. They're just moving first responders in and out of the scene. Students were moved to the gymnasium where officers kept them entertained and offered mental health services as the crime scene was worked on.
Now, I looked at this school. This school is 44% son.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that the kid who did it is a little son kid.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. It's like 21% glider and then like 16 or something Hispanic.
I don't know. I think I need more information, Chief.
The numbers ain't looking good. That's all I'll say.
As the crime scene was worked on one wing of the school, and as the school worked to communicate with families about reunification. Now, it's been jarring to see some of these young children and their parents walking out after being reunified. You see tears in their eyes. Some of the kids so young that they're confused. They don't know why we're out here. They don't know why the news is out here. But we did talk to Police Chief Steve Drew. He says his department acted very quickly. It's still very early in the investigation, and there is evidence inside the school building. So he was reluctant to give too much information before all of those students' families were informed of the incident. But he did give some information about the status of that victim, and he said the response here is huge. The mayor, Philip Jones, we just spoke to him as well, and he reiterated how quick the response was from first responders, and they're still hanging out here with students, making sure that families and students are safely reunited. Take a listen to what Police Chief Steve Drew said. This was about an hour after the incident.
Main thing right now is that we got all these kids safe, and the number one priority for me is to check on our victim at the hospital and get all these students back with their families. That's the number one priority. Okay, basically around 2 o'clock.
Okay, so glider chief, man, glider police chief, man.
But they got a black mayor though.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, at least there's some diversity in the leadership in this place.
Yeah.
What we had is a call of a shooting inside the school. We have an adult that has suffered a gunshot wound. An employee here, she has been transported to Riverside Hospital, and we're waiting to get some updates there. What's going on at this point now is the scene is clear. There is evidence inside of the building. All the children have been moved to the gymnasium. They are safe. They're interacting with officers and having some fun, slapping some high fives and teasing each other. There's plenty of counselors here. working with the students and talking to the students, remaining them calm. The number one priority for me, as I said, is to get all of our students back with their.
Okay, so this it's going to be hard to get any information about the kid, especially because
Yeah.
it's
So young.
I mean, yeah, that 6 years, that's incredible.
I mean, it's just
Terrified
insane.
parents raced to the elementary school to find out if their child was safe after the shooting. Sarah Hammond spoke with some parents as they picked up their children. She joins us live at Rich Neck Elementary. And Sarah, what are these parents telling you? I know they're relieved.
They are relieved, and that line of parents waiting to get their kids has gotten a lot shorter just in the last 30 minutes. And I spoke to one woman who said as soon as she heard the news, right around 3 o'clock, she ran up to the school, but then had to wait 2 hours in line to pick up her son. But they're reunited. She says she's so relieved to have him back in her arms. And there's still a lot of traffic over here on these small neighborhood streets, so just be aware of that if you're heading this direction. And we've seen family after family walking through this crime scene tape, holding hands and.
My heart stopped. I was freaking out, very nervous, just wondering, was that one person my son? But he's okay. He's not in first grade, no. It didn't say the grade in the text, so.
Have you learned anything through social media or?
I haven't even been on my phone, honestly. Just phone calls and texts of everyone checking on us to make sure we're okay.
Can you tell us when you saw his face?
Oh, God, I lit up. My baby. It's my baby. He's okay. It's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah,
What is she? Is she a glider on Brita?
That's not a glider. That's on Brito.
That's on Brita. I wasn't sure. The kid looks on Brita, but she was kind of ambiguous too.
Yeah. The father may be on Brito, but a salute to Paul Bird. He said shout out from the 404. I have no idea what area code that is, 404, but wherever that is. PL Sanders said appreciate you and the nation, but when will the madness ever be over? Never. Yeah, never. Listen. We're just getting started, man. This stuff is trending. It's trending in the worst direction. It's trending.
Yep.
I don't think they got started yet, to be honest.
Nope. It's only getting. I told you we're gonna have like 10 years of this.
Yeah, because it has to get so bad that they want change. And
well, a Supreme Court judge just saved Illinois.
Yeah, I saw that, but he didn't really save Illinois because he just gave them a reprieve because they're gonna fuck it up again. You gotta understand those people are going to get what they want, man, and they're gonna do like these liberals. Think about it. Just think about it.
Yeah,
They're
but the rest
taking
of
their
the
children. Hold on. They're taking the children to story time with fucking drag queens.
That's
They're
the rest of the state, the 60 counties or whatever in the state that got the reprieve, they don't want that. They're controlled by Chicago.
Yeah, it's a rough situation out there, man, and on the ground. But this is good that the kid only shot one person. I mean, I think that's great. But I think that when you got a kid this young and he's probably a son kid, and we talked about this. This is crazy. We had the show a few days ago about the problems, with these kids in schools. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes they can't charge a kid that young, and it makes bad law for everybody.
They can't charge him with anything. Yeah, there's
in New York. That kid comes back to class the next day.
Yeah,
right. I bet you the cops were like perplexed, like what the fuck do we do? And if it is a son, if it does happen to be a son kid, they should do what they did to the guy in the 4th of July shooting, where they charged the parent, charge that parent too. I don't care if they son or not.
Yeah, it's hard. Like if you just look at some of these stories when they have handcuffed kids or had to.
We're back with shocking, newly released body camera video showing a disturbing encounter between Maryland police and a 5-year-old boy they put in handcuffs. Kathy Park reports.
Don't make me take you over there. You're working that takedown. Okay.
Tonight, growing outrage in Maryland over this newly released body camera footage.
Cut it now.
2 Montgomery County police officers responded to a call to bring back a 5-year-old student who left school after he allegedly broke a computer.
Get in.
Okay, so, I mean, just think about what these teachers are going through. This kid's broke the computer and just walked out of school. And I know this neighbor. This looks like Silver Spring, and he's walking around just a neighborhood, and it's just like, what? How do you like? And then I mean, these teachers are saints, man.
Broke a computer.
Get in. Now. I'm not asking. Get in the car. I don't want to hear it.
After the officers bring him back, the situation.
Notice he's not handcuffed. Notice that he's not. They've engaged him. They put him in the car. He's not handcuffed.
Quickly escalated. Police blurred the identity of the child. Meanwhile, the yelling and berating is all caught on camera.
I mean, how do you learn that type of behavior at 5? That's why people need to beat their kids. Sit down.
I mean, they should talk to him like that. That's what's wrong with that. I mean, how do you learn that behavior at 5? That's what's so horrible.
They're hurting him, dude. They're gonna, they're traumatizing him.
Yeah, you heard the news reporter there. He called that berating.
Hey, kids, sit down.
When the boy doesn't stop crying, one officer screams just inches from his face. Police released a near hour-long video Friday, near the end of the footage, with his mom in the same room. An officer places handcuffs on the boy's wrist.
These are handcuffs. You know what they're for? Where Uncle Berto at? Huh? You know what these are for? These are for people that don't want to listen and don't know how to act.
So his mom's right there. The mom's right there. They're obviously trying to teach the boy a lesson. Mm-hmm. The mom's right there. She knows what her food.
Other than the cop getting in his face and yelling, I don't see anything wrong with anything that they just did.
Well, that's a sister too, so that's kind of part of the culture, right?
Yeah, the mother would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. Even what that woman did, I mean, yelling in his face. Like they're not showing us everything he did. They're showing us as little of what he did as they could. Because this is the news station. This isn't the body cam. This is the news station's cut up of what he was doing. He probably was doing way worse.
And
they were probably cussing him out like that.
This is probably
like
the most
kids
extreme stuff this is probably the most extreme stuff that these cops did too. There's a lot of other stuff where they're trying to be nice to him and trying to get him to do stuff in other ways, but they don't want to show that.
Right. They're going to show you the most extreme stuff the cops did and the most docile stuff he did.
What grade are you in when you're 5?
5, that's kindergarten, man. That's pre-K. That's kindergarten. Well, pre-K. I think it's pre-K, right? Because kindergarten is 6.
No, first grade is 6. First grade is 6.
So the mother sat there with a pre-K or kindergarten with handcuffs being put on him?
But I don't think they put him out there like with any like they're just they don't mean malice. They want to help this kid.
Yeah.
Wicked. Think about that.
They probably had her
in
permission
pre-K.
Look, I know of parents that kid acted like that. The kid would wind up in the emergency room. I mean, it's like come on. I mean, they got to get control of the kid somehow.
If I talked back to my grandparents like that, I would get a switch beaten over my butt until it was red.
I could almost guarantee that these cops don't mean malice. They want to help this kid. They're in their mind. They're not like, oh, he's a black kid. Let's criminalize.
They're black cops, though. The cops are black.
But you know what I'm saying?
Pre-K, kindergarten, guys.
I don't know. I don't think they mean malice, to be honest, personally. For what?
They might not mean malice, but this is not the way to go. It's
so
not.
What should they have done? What do you do?
They should.
Apparently, it's an issue. Apparently, it's to this point. What would you do?
You know what? You know how you handle this? You get a person who's capable of dealing with this kind of behavior.
I'm sure they tried.
We don't know that, but I mean, so here's and this is why I say that. So when we covered the Where was the classroom at when the boy was going?
Chicago.
But
That was in Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah. So you get someone like that to deal, like the
Like the
teacher,
dean.
not the guy who came as the enforcer, but the teacher to deal with the pre-K or kindergarten child. I mean, this is way too young to be put in handcuffs.
Why would you wish that on that
You
man?
think that nice guy teacher was
Yeah, well,
effective in handling that
Right,
kid?
he was not at all. Why would you wish that on that man?
Y'all listen before you react. Listen. The difference is this is a pre-K or kindergarten child. In Chicago, that wasn't a pre-K or kindergarten child.
He was a very young
So
child.
this
nonetheless.
right here, go ahead.
He was
Say
very
that
young
again.
nonetheless. That was a young kid.
But he was way older than a pre-K or kindergarten child. That's why I asked the grade for this age, so I can fully process this and say, okay, and put myself in the situation.
Well, it's obvious even the mother can't handle him. So how would anybody else be able to handle him?
Well, just because the mother can't handle him, that doesn't mean a professional can't handle him. And when I say handle him, hold on. When I say handle him, that doesn't mean in a physical manner, because we kind of clown the teacher in Chicago, but the way he handled that situation is how an adult in where he is should handle that situation.
Which was
and then you have someone else.
That was ineffective nonetheless.
He
though.
was
We have to admit
completely-
that.
he
And
was
look,
completely
and let me say
ineffective. That
this,
shit was
and I'm
out of
gonna roll out. Let me
control.
say that, I'm gonna roll out. I don't know if
Go ahead.
what they did was appropriate or not because we don't have the entire context, right? But it is a matter of fact, and you cannot argue this, that evidently there's an issue with these kids in particular, as you could see what's going on in society. So something's got to give, right? It's got to be something to the reason why they're here doing this. Y'all be safe out here.
Peace.
Hello.
But I think you make a mistake when you still have to deal with things on an individual level.
I mean, isn't
You
that what they're
can't
doing
take
with
a
this
broad
kid?
brush to everything.
I'm saying, but isn't that what they're doing? With
That's
this kid?
the easy way of doing things.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not easy to have to yell in the kid's face like that. But the kid, they say he broke a computer and he ran away from school. So clearly he has some discipline problems that he had to be straightened out.
Absolutely. No, I'm not arguing that. Clearly, that has to be nipped in the bud. However, there's a different way of handling a pre-K or kindergarten child. There just is. Now, I'm not saying that they weren't that's like so over the top, oh my God, arrest them, fire them, whatever. But I'm just saying, at that young of an age, you still have to be in a nurturing role. Clearly, the mother can't do that. Should the father be? The father is the one that should be doing that. We get that. Obviously, that's not the case. So when that's not the case, all I'm saying is we need to get professionals who can try to hopefully correct this behavior better than slapping cuffs on him.
Do you think there's any reasoning with this kid at this point?
If they're the right person, yes, I do. The right person in the right setting.
The thing is that
I think the right setting is a cane on the butt.
You're confusing something.
Maybe.
Discipline is the most loving thing you could do to this kid. Because without discipline, he's going to grow up completely wild, wind up getting shot by the ops, or wind up in jail or something like that. You discipline him, he learns a lesson from this.
But see, putting cuffs on him, that's not discipline.
Again, and he won't act like this again.
Yeah, but you're also assuming this is the first time they've had behavior like this out of this kid.
Well, we're all assuming.
Well, no,
we're all assuming.
Obviously,
we're assuming. All of us are assuming.
I would say the police being called denotes that it's definitely not the first time they've had an issue with this child being violent.
Well, they probably called the police because there was property damage.
He also left the school.
I don't know.
That
You're
too.
talking about a woke school out there where they don't even report when students attack each other. There's no police reports out there on that kind of thing on a lot of these schools. So why would they report property damage?
Again, we're all assuming. I'm just saying, in my opinion, there's a better way to deal with this. You could even have the police there and then having a professional who deals with. So like when a child sees someone gets their brains blown out, there's a professional and they're trying to find out who did the shooting or the murder. A regular detective doesn't interview that child. They have professionals who come in and interview that child, and they do it a specific way because they know the subject matter that they're dealing with. If it was left up to a regular detective, the regular detective, all she or he knows is how they do their thing. But a detective or a person who interviews children knows how to professionally get through to that child. That's all I'm saying.
This school is full of those professionals.
Hello.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Yeah, they got guidance counselors. They got, they got all kinds of people at that school.
Again, major assumptions. We don't know that.
You show me one school doesn't have some guidance.
Yeah, they keep them on staff, man.
Yeah,
it's just pretty.
So
common
hold on.
knowledge.
I think what WP is saying, if it doesn't work, the person's not a professional. If it does work, then they are.
No, I'm just saying.
You're saying obviously there weren't no professionals there because the kids broke a computer and now he's 2 blocks away from the school walking around the neighborhood.
No.
That doesn't mean there's no professionals. That just means that he did what he did.
I'm just saying that maybe the answer is to have both. At this age, I'm not an apologist. I'm not an apologist. I'm just saying at this age.
If I could just jump in, man. If I could just jump in. I can't believe we're really trying to have the conversation about having a professional show up to take care of this child. If the mother is there, it should just take a look for this child to get and act right. So that's how it should happen.
Once her shadow darkened that door.
And mom seems to have no problem with what they're doing while they're doing it until she found out she could make money off of it.
Yep.
Yeah, but she has no problem with doing what they're doing because she's at a loss. She even at this young age, that speaks to her. I mean, we know this. These children are the way that they are because they are being raised by single mothers who just aren't equipped to raise individuals who can conform and be productive citizens. We know this. We cover it every night. She is not fit to raise a person who can be a productive citizen, period.
So the solution for this child to come back to the school, maybe he should have been suspended, maybe expelled.
Absolutely.
If we have this kind of problem with a child who cannot integrate with society,
yes,
he needs to go.
He shouldn't be in that school. We in agreement with that. Even at that early age. I'm only speaking to how they handle this individual situation.
Yes, and maybe getting the police involved is exactly how you start that.
But
to do that, you need a police report.
Okay, but remember what I said a few minutes ago, Mayo. I said I'm not, against maybe the police being there, so he can see, there's a uniform. There's someone because I don't care how old he is. There's a uniform. There's someone that's some structure. That's some discipline. That's
He doesn't know what the uniform represents in this.
You don't know that.
Uniform does something.
You don't know that because I don't care how old you are. You know when there's a sense of authority there.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't because probably his father. If you said it before, it's more likely his father's not there, so he's not going to know what he's not going to know what authority is.
Look at the way he
That's what he
tells
get-
the cops no. He has no respect for
Yeah.
authority. Period.
Respect and knowing is two different things.
He doesn't. He does not.
He
think
know.
it's
Put it this way.
authority.
Let me,
He has
and I'll
no
leave it at this.
concept of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Let me put it like this. He knows that that uniform means more than his mom when it comes to okay. I need to now kind of sit up straight.
I don't see him.
He may still push back.
I don't see him.
But he
being
knows the difference.
intimidated in any way by those cops.
Let me move along.
It's not about being intimidated.
Hold on. Let's just see if what he's saying is true.
No doubt. They put in handcuffs. Kathy Park reports.
Don't make me take you over there.
Your record of that takedown.
Okay.
Tonight, growing outrage in Maryland over this newly released body camera footage.
Cut it now.
2 Montgomery County police officers responded to a call to bring back a 5-year-old student who left school after he allegedly broke a computer.
Get in. Now. I'm not asking. Get in the car. I don't want to hear it.
After the officers bring him back, the situation quickly escalated. Police blurred the identity of the child. Meanwhile, the yelling and berating is all caught on camera.
I mean, how do you learn that type of behavior at 5? That's why people need to beat their kids. Sit down.
When the boy doesn't stop crying, one officer screams just inches from his face. Police released a near hour-long video Friday.
woman there
near
is
the end of
probably the
footage
guy.
with his mom in the same room. An officer places handcuffs on the boy's wrist.
These are handcuffs. You know what want to they're go for? with Uncle Berto at? Huh? You know what these are for? These are for people that don't want to listen and don't know how to act.
The incident took place January of last year. After an internal investigation, Montgomery County Police said both officers remain on the job. The boy's mother has since filed a lawsuit seeking justice and compensation for his trauma. In a statement, the school district wrote in part, "Our heart aches for this student. There is no excuse for adults to ever speak to or threaten a child in this way." Councilmember Will Jawando pushed to get the
Their heart aches for that boy. That boy ain't been through shit. That boy ain't went through a motherfucking thing.
And the school, she's actually got more case on the school than she does on the cops.
Because the kid's 2
No,
blocks
the
away.
school,
during
the school has
school
a
time.
case on her for raising the kid that way, man. What?
Yeah,
That's
the
crazy.
fact that
I'm
she-
talking in a legal sense only.
Yeah, but the fact that she is even filing a lawsuit, it already says what kind of state the mother is in. For her
Oh, but
to
somebody
file-
put this battery in her back, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, we already know she's a shitty mom. Period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Think y'all got
trauma. In a statement, the school district wrote in part, "Our heart aches for this student. There is no excuse for adults to ever speak to or threaten a child in this way." Councilmember Will Jawando pushed to get the video released and
I
demands
think
a
there's no
full
excuse for a
investigation.
child to speak to an adult in
shouldn't
that
treat a
way.
human being the way this young boy was treated. It doesn't matter if he's 5 years old or 50 years old. No one should have been talked to in that manner.
And ultimately,
This
what
clown.
do you want to see happen to
This
those
clown
two
has no
officers?
kids.
They should be fired.
Kathy Park,
Got a
NBC
ball.
News.
Yeah, he's trying to get some more votes for his next election. That's what he's worried about.
Also, he's a pussy.
He is. But my thing is, do you all think the police officers' actions of yelling at the child, do you all think that was childish?
No.
It actually worked, though.
Oh God.
It made a lot of sense to me. I mean, like that kid, he needs to be probably sent to military school, probably till he's 18. With strong discipline.
What
Yeah,
they
probably
didn't show
have
us-
military school for 5-year-olds.
What they didn't show us after he was getting yelled at, that he probably stopped. They didn't show they cut right after
Exactly.
that. After that part.
And they didn't hook him up for real. They were just sort of showing him what the handcuff.
You know what Dr. Umar calls that? He calls that ain't no damn daddy at home disorder.
Right here. All right, man. I'm Officer Wade. So you know where you're going?
Okay.
To jail.
You're going into jail. So you need to stand up and put your hands behind your back.
Well, first, what I want you to do is put your hands right here. All right.
this fucks up their narrative because this is a glider kid. Salute the Savage, man. Salute Savage. This is a glider kid. They try to make it seem like this only happens to black kids.
I don't think so either.
And you can justify it.
Look at the glider kid. Just put his hands behind his back, just complying.
Yeah. The glider kid is completely complying.
Yeah, the glider kid complied. That is crazy. Like even at that age, you see the difference. Wow.
Yeah, see, when I'm speaking on it, I'm not speaking about whether it's a glider, sun person, whomever. I'm speaking on the process of it, and can that process be improved? Even this situation. Come on, man. Come on. You got two big ass adults and a frail child. We can't figure out a way to deal with this different than that, handcuffing this little child. I think y'all think I'm just talking about it because if it's a son teen or son child. No, any child, man. We as adults, we can't figure out a way to get through these children at that moment better than handcuffing them. That speaks to us as adults then.
No, I think even if this were to happen and act up into a store long time ago, you'd get a whipping on the spot. You would get with a ruler, a high heel, a belt. So the handcuffs is not a issue to me, honestly. If it was my mom and that happened to me, as soon as we get in the car, I know I'm getting a whooping.
But this actually happened to me when I was a little kid. I actually got arrested when I was like 8 and 11 years old for some little shit, but still, like it's not unusual, you know. Like, so I don't see like the big deal, you know. But when you're under the age of 12, at least in California, they don't arrest you, they just take you home to your parents. But still, like I don't see that this is like something somehow unusual. Like if anything,
If I got brought home by the police when I was a kid, I don't think I would have sat down for a week because my butt would be on fire for a week.
Exactly.
I would have begged the cops to take me to jail.
Exactly.
We get that. So, but let me ask you this, because you and I was kind of the same thing. I used to steal like a MFer, bro, and I would get caught every now and then. At this age, did you ever get caught at this age doing like stealing or something out?
At that age, I wasn't stealing yet. My stealing started in, I want to say, 7th grade. No, 5th grade.
Fifth grade. So when did you? So 5th grade, was that about the first time you got caught stealing out the store? You know, I mean, simple stuff, candy stuff.
I got caught stealing and I snitched. I snitched on my buddies. I got caught. The store owner called us and he caught me, and I was like, I didn't know I could just run. I was, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know at that point I could just run. I just stood there next to him and shit, like while he was like holding me and shit. But
so did you ever get like caught stealing in the mall or something? In the mall security got you?
Nah, I used to be very, very good. Like,
gotcha.
I got caught. No, I did get caught again after that time, but it was when I got caught. Cops brought me home to my mom.
Were you handcuffed?
Yeah, I was in the back of a squad car.
Yeah,
handcuffed.
I don't remember, but I was in the back of a squad car.
But yeah,
do you still steal?
Say that again.
Do you still steal?
Of course not. I don't need to anymore.
Well, what age did you stop stealing?
Damn near 20s. And then it finally hit, bro, you don't need to do this no more. You got too much to lose.
So that means it's 30s.
The chat says if you can hear it, we can hear it. They can hear you chewing.
What'd you say, Mossy?
I was gonna ask what kind of punishment did you get as a kid when you stole?
I mean, I got caught, by mall security. I got caught by store security. But I was never, handcuffed.
But were you punished?
He's talking about
The punishment from home or punishment from
from home.
Yes and no. I mean, I say yes. I answered like that because I reached an age where my mother, she couldn't really, the hits no longer hurt anymore. So the thing, like I said, the thing that stopped me was I finally, I kept progressing in my development, and it got to the point where the last time I got caught stealing, I said, bro, you about to fuck up everything you've already built up. Stop that shit. We don't need to do this no more.
Now, do you think if you would have been arrested earlier, you would have stopped earlier?
Fuck no.
What about your dad? What'd your dad do?
He wasn't around.
Yeah, he talked about that yesterday. Let me move along. Let me move along.
Okay. Keep your hands in front of you like this. Okay? When you take it off.
Alright, come on.
Follow this officer.
Huh? He just left. He just left. Come on,
Okay. Follow him.
It's eerie how compliant that little black kid is.
Yeah, I'm noticing that, man. Totally, yeah.
Who's that talking to him?
You understand this is very serious, okay? And I hate that you put me in this position that I have to do this. Okay? All right? The thing about it is you made a mistake. Now it's time to learn from it and grow from it, right? Not repeat the same mistake again. Okay? Yeah. All right. All right, come on.
I would be interested in knowing when that process of handcuffing children, began. What year?
It's always began, bro. They don't treat. They just send you to YA, bro. You don't know. You never known any kids that got sent to youth authority.
Of course.
It just hasn't been televised easily before like that.
Gotcha.
This is just standard practice of arresting a prisoner, period.
Yeah.
But
Because
so
it's for it's actually for their safety too.
So let me ask you, Mayo, at what age would you consider someone the definition as a prisoner?
Well, if you're getting arrested, that's all depends on the state law.
Well, no, he's kind of. I mean, he could be just getting detained, right?
Yeah.
With handcuffs, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
But
not
this
arrested.
kid's,
They're not going to arrest him. They're not going to put him through the system.
He could be being removed from the
Yeah,
school.
they're
to be
bringing him
taken
in.
back
They're
to his parents.
going to make him wait for his parents, probably.
But it's also for the safety of the prisoner, and I'm going to refer to them as the prisoner.
But you can't be. I don't think any state, man. I don't think you can be prosecuted in any state if you're under 12. Like, so regardless of what he did, they're just gonna take him home.
No, you could be depending.
Oh, yeah.
You could be prosecuted. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was
as a juvenile, you're not going to grown people court or jail, but you can be prosecuted.
They usually like out here, like I used to steal bikes a lot when I was younger, and they just took me home and they like gave me counseling and stuff, but they didn't like give me I didn't get I wasn't on parole or nothing, on probation.
Well, that's if you were in a Democrat-run state, probably. Or
So
city.
approximately how old were you when you were doing the bike thing?
I was from like 9 to like 13, but I only got stopped once.
And they handcuffed you when they caught you?
Yeah, and they took me home.
Yeah, there's nothing. This handcuffing thing is not a problem to me. Look, I wish they just carry little handcuffs just in case they have to arrest the kid, man, so that they don't have to put the big handcuffs because the kid could probably get out of the big handcuffs.
The way things are going, they should probably just like start hiring little cops too, like little 12-year-old cops, you know, and they could arrest little kids, right?
Have little kid juries and little kid judges.
Hey, I mean,
they can have little snacks and pads, and so they can take naps in the fucking courtroom.
No, the punishment, you don't get the nap and you don't get the snack if you get like convicted, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Let me move along though.
Okay, she's gonna have to come with us now.
Okay, Kai, you
Stand
gotta
up.
go with them, baby girl.
Stand up.
This is the arrest of 6-year-old Kaya Rowe.
What are those for?
Caught on body camera, Kaya was arrested and zip-tied by a school resource officer at her elementary school in Orlando, Florida in 2019. The school said Kaya had started hitting the school's assistant principal and screaming after being told that she couldn't wear her sunglasses in the classroom. Her family say that Kaya was experiencing side effects of sleep apnea, a diagnosis they'd shared with the school. But the first grader ended up being taken to the principal.
Okay, so the child hit the staff member, and began screaming. Which
mental complications don't excuse assault. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's that bad. That's that out of order for kids at a Sun school. I'm sure stuff like that happens very often. I just think that for the cops to come, the veracity and the fervor which she was doing, what they simply stated as she was hitting the staff member and screaming. They're making it seem, you know what I'm saying? That's like me saying that's literally like they're dumbing it down. They're sanitizing it. The cops came. We know some kids do this shit all the time. There's a cop here now handcuffing her. She was obviously doing a little bit more than hitting a teacher and screaming. She was going the fuck off and she was out of control.
But I think what happened is, no, I think what happened is once parents and once like the faculty were told you can no longer discipline the children, then that caused the police to now have to be involved in these type of things. And that's when you get these images of children being handcuffed. Because like we talked, I don't remember what night. I mean, I remember in school, if we were given a warning, if you messed up again, or you got caught with toys, there was a ruler and we got hit on our hand. And so when that discipline, whether it was the teacher or the vice principal or the I got spanked by my principal one time, 3rd grade. I'll never forget it. I was like, what the fuck? He actually gonna spank me?
I remember the principal. Our principal would spank you too. And we got the Dr. Miss Gaines Carter, my 1st grade teacher. You put your hand out, you be trembling and shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you want, like it really hurt, but it didn't hurt really bad. It stung, but it was the fact that you was embarrassed and you were ashamed. That's why you were crying. You know what I mean? But I don't remember anybody, like any mom coming up to the school trying to fight Miss Gaines Carter or nothing like that. Or even my 2nd grade teacher, Dr. Foster, she did that too. I don't remember, like I think now what happened is like in the late 80s, the moms started coming up assaulting the teachers. And that's when you started having a lot of problems, man. But when I was like in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 85, 86, it was commonplace to get whacked on the hand for doing something wrong.
Her family say that Kaya was experiencing side effects of sleep apnea, a diagnosis they'd shared with the school. But the 1st grader ended up being taken to the principal's office and later charged with misdemeanor battery, a criminal offense.
I don't want to go to the police car.
You don't want to?
No, please.
You have to.
No, please.
Now that officer, does he sound like he's like Look, little nigger bitch, get out of here. Spread them. Like, I mean, like, come on, man. Like, everyone, when they're dealing with a 6-year-old and you're a fucking big ass cop, you're doing this.
He sounds like a dad.
You're doing this because you have to do it. P.L. Sargent says, I got arrested at 14 in 1974, Osage County. My dad told the sheriff, I'm not coming to get her. Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, leave the motherfucking kid down there for the night. Let him see how it is.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
At the time of Kaya's arrest, Florida had no minimum age laws, leaving children of all ages eligible for arrest by law enforcement officers at school.
Kaya, as a 6-year-old, was arrested. She was handcuffed behind her back.
So there's no dad in that picture. I'm looking for a dad. There's no dad in this picture.
And you want to hear the numbers? By 23 states have no age specified. 2 states is 10, 3 states is 12. 5 states is 13, 15 states it's 14, 3 states it's 15, and 1 state it's 16. And that's California. I put a link in the back. And that's for adjudication in court.
Yeah, 16 in California. That's crazy. I swear to God, in middle school, I seen one kid, Mario. He was a fucking badass kid, dude. I mean, like, not in the good way, but he got arrested, and we were shit, like maybe 12.
But certain crimes fall outside of that. This is just in general. Like if it's assault, rape, grape, you know what I mean? Those kind of charges can be charged earlier.
Because Mel, when I was in school, there was kids used to stay getting arrested for bringing guns to school. Like that was like a regular occurrence.
Oh yeah, and those are those occurrences. You know, that's just a general rule by state. Like I said, or 27 states have no minimum age limit for arrest.
And let me guess, those states are they're primarily in the Midwest and the Deep South, right? I'm just assuming.
Alabama, Alaska, Maine, Oklahoma, Wyoming, New Hampshire, Illinois, Indiana, all over the place, man. New Mexico.
Was arrested. She was handcuffed behind her back. And the only reason that she was handcuffed with zip ties is because the officer said that he didn't have handcuffs small enough to fit her wrist. Kaya was so short, he had to go and find a footstool for her to stand up on so that she would be at the appropriate height level for him to take her mugshot.
I was really scared and confused. I was like, what? Why are those police officers for me?
The number of reported law enforcement in Florida schools nearly doubled the year before Kaya's arrest.
Out. Go. Oh, no, you want to touch? I'm not going to hurt you. Don't give me a...
If that had been a black girl,
we shouldn't be.
If that had been a black girl that got slammed on her face, boy, the country would have been in an uproar.
Hey, look at the name. Courtesy of who? Look at the name under the statement.
Ben Crump.
Putting handcuffs on
Crump,
6-year-olds. There's almost no situation in which that is an appropriate response.
Experts say rising numbers of school arrests in the state can be significantly attributed to a piece of legislation passed in the wake of the Parkland school shooting, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act.
Yo, when y'all come up here, y'all gotta have your noise down, man. You can't have a lot of noise in the background when y'all come up here, man.
That all public schools in the state, which should include both traditional and charter schools, have an armed individual on campus at all times. It could be a sworn law enforcement officer implemented as a school resource officer. It could be a private security guard who's also armed but is not a sworn law enforcement officer and doesn't have arrest powers. Or it could be implemented through what we call the Guardian program in Florida, which is arming a school staff member. And so school resource officers in some ways are part of a bigger trend towards target hardening and trying to protect schools.
Florida school arrests fell statewide during the first year of the pandemic. But now Floridians are heading back to in-person classrooms. According to the ACLU, in 2018, Florida classrooms had more police officers than nurses and more than double the number of police officers than social workers or school psychologists.
What is that telling you, though? Again, what does that tell you?
The kids are
Also,
out of
like,
control.
The
Mark, I
discipline
think it's-
problems are more common than health problems.
well,
I think
also
it
like
says-
more police officers equal less nurses.
But I think it says that they care about their children. Placing police officers in classroom, this is direct opposite of defunding the police.
Agreed. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
more-
less kids get messed up too. Like, so they
More
don't got to go to
police
the nurse.
officers equal less nurses. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Like that's
It's
yeah.
not like the
They
nurses
often
can really do anything in school anymore anyway.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You're right. I don't even know what they could do back then. When I was in school.
You know, you need 12, kids can't have pills in school. All the nurse does is administer prescribed pills that the parents give them. They can't really medically treat them. Except in, like, say,
Not
an
even
emergency.
first aid for a scrape.
Yeah, they could do some minimum stuff like that, but you still got to call the parents to get permission, probably.
That's wild, bro. Yeah. Why even have a nurse? It seems redundant. Like if they can't do shit.
CPR.
It's
Somebody-
everything is done off of liability now.
Lawyers fuck shit up, man.
Oh,
But
and
sorry.
stupid parents suing mess it up too. You know?
But here's the thing, though. The nurse is there. Some kid needs CPR. Some kid breaks a leg or something. I mean, they are there for freak accidents.
Kaya Roll's family want the public to understand that the trauma of arrests leave lasting mental scars on kids. Ones Kaya is still living with 2 years later.
It's supposed to.
Before
It's supposed to
the
scare you
incident,
straight.
Agreed.
Kaya was an awesome young lady.
Yeah, do you see anyone? I went over there.
She wanted to hug everybody. She wanted to sing for everybody. She wanted to dance for everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you.
As a result of the incident,
She possibly
Kaya
wanted
has
to
been
hit everybody
diagnosed
too.
with PTSD, with severe separation anxiety. She almost has a solitary lifestyle now. She's become a totally different child.
Where are parents?
I feel sad about what happened at school with.
Roll this back to where they're in her bedroom talking to her now. When it's done.
Once
Because they were
Kaya
talking
is
about
still
sleep
living
apnea,
with
but I
2
didn't see
years
a machine by her bed.
later.
Before the incident, Kaya was an awesome young lady.
Yeah, do you see anyone? I went over there.
She wanted to hug everybody. She wanted to sing for everybody. She wanted to dance for everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you.
As a result of the incident, Kaya has been diagnosed with PTSD, with severe separation anxiety. She almost has a solitary lifestyle now. She's become a totally different child.
I feel sad about what happened at school with the police officer because I think he was really mean to me.
Wait, is she reading off
that
the
was
script
so
right
coach.
there?
She's actually reading
was
that off the
so-
script.
That was so
That's
coach.
pathetic. That was
You know,
pathetic.
she has PTSD. Punch
Yo.
the school teacher. That's what she's got.
Yes.
Yo, I came in late. What did she do wrong? I'm sorry. Why they bring her in?
She attacked the school teacher because I don't know why. They didn't say.
That she was wearing
alright.
sunglasses in class. She wouldn't take them off.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
Ma-
they were blaming it on sleep apnea.
Yeah, Mayo, I think you were looking for the CPAP machine. I didn't see it either.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
big for toddlers, man. A lot of toddlers have sleep apnea.
Let me say this though.
I'm being a smart ass dog.
My
No,
CPAP, hold on.
overweight. A lot of overweight kids do have sleep apnea, but it's
My
because
C-
they're overweight.
My CPAP machine, when I'm not using it, I put it in the case and I put the case away. So it's like I don't have it just lying around. You put it up. There's a case for it, and you put it back in the case, and then you put the case away. It might.
Do you use it every night?
Yeah, I can't sleep without it.
And you take it you take it apart and put it in the case every
It's
day.
just it's a tube. It's a face mask, and there's a station with a.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I've got one.
And then there's a plug. I take mine. I don't take the plug out the wall, but I just unplug it from the station. Because my daughter, my daughter, she'll get into it and she'll I won't be able to find pieces. She'll break it, so I put it away every single day.
Okay, that makes more sense there.
Yeah,
but so she was wearing sunglasses because she didn't get sleep, and then she fought the teacher.
She wanted to wear sunglasses, and the teacher said no, so she kicked the teacher's ass.
Wanted to wear sunglasses so she can sleep in class.
Maybe so. Maybe.
Exactly.
She had a long night. I get it. Grown-ups wearing sunglasses.
I had sleep apnea all my life. I just didn't. I just got a CPAP machine 3-4 years ago. So it's not just because your sleep apnea doesn't start the day you get to sleep. The machine, it's with you, long before that. So if this little girl got sleep apnea, I feel sorry for her. I definitely feel bad for her. And I feel bad, but it's still like if you're gonna kick the shit out of a teacher, the people have to respond to that. We have to respond to that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I was saying that sleep apnea doesn't give a kid it's kind of bullshit to blame fucked up behavior on a real illness.
I can't believe that's the only adult that she is actually like attacked. She probably attacks her mom too. They just
Oh
don't
yeah,
want to show it.
a lot of times those kids who do that, who do that stuff in public, they definitely attack their moms. But one thing I've noticed from being around, just being around the block a few times, a lot of kids that beat up their parents and are very disrespectful to their parents, they're punks around other kids their age.
Yeah, because they hit people that won't usually do that much back to them.
Yeah, other kids their
And
age
see,
that
that's
like swing back
and
at
he,
them, you know.
you just made a great point. Not that long ago, the whomever it is in that school, there was somebody or a few people that would be able to hit back if the child hit a teacher. They would be able to literally snatch them out the classroom and deal with them in the office. And that's what's no longer there. And that's why the police have to be called. And I get it. It's just ugly.
Well, it's just like you took the batons away from the cops, so you forced them to use the tasers
Or shoot them. Yep.
or shoot them.
Right. Yep. Great analogy.
You took corporal punishment away, so now you have to
And
move
they
to
could
the
take
next
that
step.
baton.
That's a great
They
analogy.
could take that baton and
Well
pin
well
someone
done.
down by
Well
the
done,
neck
there,
so
yo.
they couldn't move and get them. But now they can't do
No,
that.
they got all those little
But do
cops. They got all those little cops now. They got to shoot you instead of try to grapple you. You know, like when they used to have big cops, they didn't have to shoot you so often. You know?
But do you get what I'm saying, Mayo? The teachers and the administrators used to be able to nip these things in the bud with when they needed to. Yeah. And so
in
when
my schools, we got our ass beat in front of the class,
ding, ding, ding,
and that was more embarrassing.
ding, ding, ding.
That shame was
Yes.
more.
It made you think.
than the
It made
pain
you think
itself.
2 or 3 times before you did something.
Yeah.
And there was no need for police to be even thought about being called.
Yeah, but now, how about let's deal with right now.
As a solitary
Right.
lifestyle now. She's become a totally different child.
I feel sad about what happened at school with the police officer because I think he was really mean to me. Presenting the toy of destruction.
And he wasn't mean to her.
Not at all.
Kaya's
He
case
was
made
nice as
national
pie.
news.
That police officer, if that police officer got fired, that'd be a fucking travesty.
No,
After an
mom sees
investigation, the
dollar
Orlando
signs,
Police
man. That's all. Mom sees
Department
some dollar
fired the
signs
school
right
resource officer who arrested her, saying that the arrest of any person under the age of 12
Distraction. My diary.
Kaya's case made national news. After an investigation, the Orlando Police Department fired the school resource officer who arrested
Oh,
Jesus
wow.
Christ, man.
They fired that guy. Wow. That's fucking crazy. This guy got fired.
charged with misdemeanor battery, a criminal offense.
I don't want to go to the police car.
You don't want to?
No, please.
You have to.
No, please. Give me a second.
Okay.
Please.
Give me a
No.
second.
Appreciate it.
All right.
The guy got fucking fired.
Yo,
And
man,
that's
he's
got to
just
be breaking his heart too at the same
yeah.
time.
It is, and that's the despicable part, because these police officers don't want to. They know this shit is foul. They do. They don't want to. They'd rather be chasing down.
I don't think he sees it as foul. I think he sees it as unfortunate that he has to do that.
Well, foul, unfortunate, tomato.
No.
I mean, but they don't.
What you're saying is that you think he's doing a bad thing. I said I think he thinks he's doing something that he wish he didn't have to do.
He's
Yeah,
doing
and
his job.
It's a bad thing.
That's
He's
that
doing his
scare him
job.
straight shit
But
too. It's like
he trust me, these guys don't wake up in the morning, put their uniform on, put their weapon belt on, wanting to do stuff like this. They don't.
Yo, so yesterday I ended up meeting a principal from a school on the east side of Detroit. It's a hood ass school, and the administration is so backwards, man. The principal was like, well, like just don't grab them that type of way. And it's like, yo, if you're trying to break up a fight, you're not worrying about where you touch the kid, and then like the principals do not have anyone's back, and they're lying to themselves too. He was like criticizing a white teacher for not doing enough, and I was like, yo, if he did too much, he's a racist, and if he doesn't do enough, he got fired. I'd rather go look for a job not being a racist, but he ain't see it that way.
Yeah, and this is the primary reason why you have a lot of police officers saying this is not worth it. You look
Yes.
at 2020, and you see the rapid increase of police officers retiring, no longer wanted to be on the force. And this is because of societal decay. We have less people willing to enforce the law.
Either retiring
After
or
an
going to
investigation-
areas that they're going to be supported.
The Orlando Police Department fired the school resource officer who arrested her, saying that the arrest of any person under the age of 12 requires approval, and that this approval was not obtained in Kaya's case. The family says her charges were dropped.
Woo. Outside.
Okay, that's okay.
Pearls.
Now,
The royal family then worked with their state senator to raise the minimum.
Nothing but a bunch of fat sisters.
One man. That kid's doomed. That kid is doomed.
She looks like, and then I'm not saying this as a joke. She looks like she has some mental things going on as well.
Oh, and she'll get free insulin in prison.
Well, isn't she only like
That
9
girl's
years
gonna
old?
wind up in prison.
I don't know how she is now, but she was 6 at the time of the arrest.
Well, they said that was like 2 years ago. So I mean, she's at most 9. So
She don't seem bad to me. She seemed regular to me, but
Yeah, she seemed normal to me.
Then worked with their state senator to raise the minimum age that a child can be arrested in Florida. The Kaya Roll Act took effect on July 1st, 2020.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Jesus.
So I wonder if they'll note this in her sentencing.
The
Yeah.
Democrats hate kids.
Yep,
Let it be
swing on a
known.
teacher, get an act.
21. It states that any Florida child under the age of 7 will not be arrested, charged, or adjudicated, except in the cases of forcible felony.
it took a lot out of me to fight. And I fought really hard because I did.
You fought?
Florida had no age at the time.
She fought? What is she talking about?
Should have
Fight.
fought for a dentist.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone needs to come together. including their
Oh, yeah.
teeth.
And look at what all that lawsuit money got her, sitting behind her.
Another wig.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, that little girl's room would look good, like fucking tricked out. I was like, damn, she's got a nice room.
Oh, that kid's spoiled as fuck.
Yeah, this is sickening, man.
Did not want to see this happen to another family. That does not stop our fight. She turned 8, and this was.
So hold on. You don't want this to ever happen again. That's your fight. So you're always gonna have a job. If you're fighting for in what is it, 800 million schools in this country? If you're fighting for this to never ever happen again in the history of the world, you've employed yourself. You good.
In May, and she said to
And she'll be happy to take $2,000
my
of
own
speaking
law no
engagement
longer
to talk
protects
about it.
me.
The royal family want the minimum age of arrest in Florida to be raised again, and they also want the state to look into the role of SROs as a whole.
What we need to do is have serious conversations about whether they should be present in schools at all. Then we need to couple that with rigorous looks at the way in which we train them, the ways in which we try to minimize their
Jesus
bias
Christ.
when it comes to dealing with students of color, to
Oh
ensure
my
that they are
God.
going to be present.
How about you train these
bias.
parents?
Yeah.
Oh, listen very closely.
Whether they should be present in schools at all. Then we need to couple that with rigorous looks at the way in which we train them, the ways in which we try to minimize their bias when it comes to dealing with students of color.
That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Oh,
Oh shit. This shit is crazy, man.
yo, and the mother sounds like she's from the islands, bro. Like, you know, it's a problem if you got like a lady from the islands talking that shit. Cause
What you mean? You know, they just as bad, bro. They ain't no different.
Yeah, but they
Man,
would beat that
they-
kid's ass in a Jamaican school.
well, back in the day, back in the day, there was a little stricter about shit. Generally speaking,
They're the same as us now. They ain't no different.
that's what I'm saying. You can see it now. It's like, damn, dog, even that shit.
Yeah. And you see, like, and they actually have the same rate of single parenthood that we do over here.
Yeah, I think we did this one before, but I want to show you.
You're behind the door. I see you looking. You behind the door.
Hey, what happened? That man right there, he kept going, like when we played football, that man had come out, beat your ass and stuff. And he kept playing with me.
Who had the gun?
It was a cat line.
It was a cat gun. Where's the cat gun at?
Somewhere down there.
What, you threw it down there? You did?
In the wood line? There was a little altercation between your son and this gentleman over here. We're just trying to see what happened. And someone said that someone pulled a gun on him.
Your son threw it, so we gotta go look for it.
Let's
Come on.
go.
Come on.
Let's go.
He should be telling
him
to beat your ass.
Amari.
Come on.
You gotta walk.
So really, he defended
Your brother.
I got you, but...
BB gun. All right, let's go. Your brother's right there.
All right, let's go grab it.
Look at the shit they walk into. Like, they have to come, like, the fucking stop. The street signs leaning, his clothes on the ground.
Did the mom just say you shouldn't be telling? Did that what she just said?
I mean, she is. If she said this boy who was 13 that was fucking with her son who's 10. Hold on, hey, yo, you gotta mute yourself, Razzle.
I'm sorry, bro. I thought I did. I'm sorry for fuck.
You sound like Miss Piggy out this motherfucker, man.
I was trying not to laugh. Sorry, I was trying not to laugh.
My man, straight. He sound like me with my CPAP on, man. But salute to PL Sanders. She says, I saw my first S person at 10 in 1970. She beat up the biggest white guy I ever seen. Yeah, man. Sun sisters ain't no joke. But let's look at when you're a cop and you walk into these communities and you're dealing with these type of people constantly, okay? Because these cops were called here. Someone called them here. They're not telepathic. They were called here. And look at the way the people
Somebody
live.
just sitting there on the front porch swing, eating away while they're questioning their kid.
And look at the way the people live. Look at how they look at their lifestyle. You can tell that it's going to be a rough encounter.
Okay.
That's all right.
It's like, we can walk inside.
Oh, you threw it in here?
And they sent 2 female cops.
You guys always fighting like that? Huh? You guys always fighting like that? Always?
I put it like all the way.
Page 24, 342. Oh, you ran through it?
Uh-huh.
Y'all have like a history between each other? Like
No, this is our first time.
Okay.
Hey, I put it right there in the woods, right there in the ass.
No, oh, so you leave it in the woods and you go grab it out the woods?
Uh-huh.
All right.
That's how grandma's a BB gun, I guess.
I like that he knew to throw the gun.
Say what?
Like he knew he was wrong if you're throwing the gun, bro. Like
I think he lying to them. I think he sent them on a goose chase. He didn't know they was gonna go actually look for it. I think he's full of shit. I think the gun's probably in his bed.
Personally, that release it back to your mom, but it's just one of our procedures that we have to do, okay? No.
Look at this place.
And we'll get it.
Look at that. Look at that house. I mean, squalor.
was there? I saw a bed with no sheets. I think. Yeah.
Tupperware furniture.
That's a sign that there's no male in the house.
I don't mean shit, bro. That's how some people live, bro.
No, that's not how some people live when there's a male in the house.
No, you tripping. You tripping. Pookie and Ray and
They don't count.
Yeah, they don't. That's not. I don't consider them males.
That's
They're
the
niggas.
majority. That's the majority. You ain't the majority.
Huh?
You ain't the majority. Like niggas will sweep their trash right out their front door. That's how niggas are, bro.
Even the blinds are cockeyed. Look at that shit.
Do you see this man following him? You didn't see this man that was with them when they were looking. This guy right here. I don't know who this guy
That's
is.
the father.
I think that's the complainant.
No, the
That's a-
complainant's 13.
That's somebody not at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means any male who's contributing to a household is not going to allow that to occur. However,
I don't know about that, man.
if there's only the mother there, that stuff is going to be allowed. I know that firsthand.
But I know some single mothers who keep a really nice up. I know some single mothers, man. You can eat off the floor at their house. When we used to go over sleepovers and shit, and when I was a kid, my man, a couple of my men had mothers where they plastic on the furniture. Fucking, you couldn't touch nothing. Shit was. I mean, the single mother. I think these people are just trifling.
And we'll get a jacket on so it doesn't look like you won't be able to see. Yeah, just one of our little procedures. Oh, thank you. He's gonna go to the precinct with us. Oh, you don't have your other shoes?
Who's gonna take me back home?
I'll see if I can give you a ride. You don't have any family member that has a car?
Can my mama go?
I don't know if she'll be able to ride down there with us right now. That's the only thing. Is it right here? There it is.
Okay. What's it?
See?
Okay, what?
We're gonna it's just our procedure. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back. We're gonna put this jacket on. I'm not gonna
Why you gotta put that behind your back?
Listen, ma'am. It's our procedures and everything like
Okay,
that.
why you take me to jail? Why you can't do it in front of y'all?
We can't. The only people who can do it is if they're pregnant.
Can you put it in front of me?
I can't.
It's gonna hurt my back.
What's wrong with your back?
What difference does it make?
Okay, all right. Hold on 1 second. Let me just put it. Hold on.
Mari, don't
Just put it back.
move and stuff. Just stay calm.
Just relax. It's not tight, okay?
No.
Look, wait, stop. Let me double lock it so it doesn't get any tighter, and then I'm gonna put this jacket over you, okay?
I'm coming down there so I can. So when I get to the precinct, y'all gonna let me go?
We're gonna just have to do the charges and do the release form, and then we'll go from there. So I have mom's phone number.
Where y'all taking him to?
1125 Cascade Circle. That's our precinct.
Where's the Cascade?
You know where Avon and Cascade is?
She said.
By the cemetery?
Right here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. That's up there. Cascade.
The kid knows where the precinct is, but the mom don't.
So down the street, Cascade.
Yes, ma'am.
She knows where it's at. She's playing.
Don't keep talking to
That's the grandma. That ain't the mama, bro.
Are they still out here? They still out here? You want to go in front? Here, let me get in front of you. You got them from the back?
Look at this castle these people have been granted by the government.
I know, dog.
They probably pay $74 a month for this place on Section 8.
How you know it's Section 8? How you know they don't own it?
Because I know.
Come on, man.
They don't own it. I know
Come on.
they don't
Them
own it.
walls wouldn't be freshly painted if they did.
I know they don't own it. I know they don't. I just know they don't.
Look at the floor, man.
Yeah. So we're just gonna do
That
this.
little boy need to be out there cutting his fucking grass, man.
That way.
Picking up the trash.
Okay.
Who's gonna make them though?
That's the thing too with the apartment living. Like you don't realize how much other people do for you. You know.
We'll call. Go ahead and get in.
You'll call.
Yeah, we'll call. I'm gonna call the number she gave me. That's the best number to call, or do you want me to get your number?
Yeah, you can get my number too.
That's the one. I mean, look, man. This shit is. I don't.
Yeah, the one questioning about where they were taking him and putting handcuffs on him was the grandma.
I think that was the mom right there, the one that you just saw. I think that was the mom. I
Oh,
don't think.
she looked like she's like 70.
That might be the great granny.
Yeah, the sister couldn't even speak English hardly. The
She's
first
just,
one out the door.
are you talking about her accent? You didn't understand. I was thinking that too, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on her because my grandma, some of my grandparents talk like that too. But yeah,
Here's an update on the story we covered. That this missing Houston
We
man.
start with breaking news. Sources tell Fox 26 that the brother of Delano Burks, the missing man later found dead, has been involved in a violent crime involving their mother. Fox 26's Matthew Seedorf joining us live with the puzzling details. Good evening, Matt.
Yeah, Caroline, police responded to this neighborhood in West Houston early this morning, and they believe that Delano's brother is accused of now shooting Delano's mother and her boyfriend. A tragic twist in a missing person case that captivated Houston. Sources confirming with Fox 26 the brother of Delano Burks, a missing man found dead last month in the Houston Ship Channel, is now accused of shooting his mother Friday morning and killing her boyfriend.
We have.
I mean,
Godfrey. You kind
I
of look
think
like
you found
Godfrey.
out what happened to the brother.
We have one adult male we believe in his 50s, that's deceased on the scene. We have another female who is in her mid 40s that has been shot numerous times. She's at a local hospital right now, so we're praying for her.
Authorities now investigating what happened before the shooting. Charging documents confirm Stephen Burks now in jail for murder.
Our suspect has had mental problems in the past, and they were thinking that he was acting kind of strange today and somehow got a hold of a pistol.
That family. For several weeks, Stephen Burks stood right behind his mother, pleading for Houston's help in finding his.
Wow. So this might have been something that triggered some kind of psychotic break for him. You know, if you want
I think he probably killed his brother.
Wow.
And missing brother Delano.
And I don't know if there's any.
Mysterious surveillance video shows Delano stumbling and almost running from a bar in the Heights. The 26-year-old's lifeless body found roughly a month later floating in the Houston Ship Channel.
Please help us. Please bring him home.
A death some have called suspicious.
There may be a lot of information that could help this family have closure.
Oh, I remember
and
this
to have
case.
comfort in this very difficult time.
Police now trying to piece together Friday morning's deadly shooting at this family's home involving Stephen Burks.
We don't know exactly how it occurred or what occurred, but we do believe he is the one that did the shooting and shot his mother and then shot the male and the mother, not sure who in what order.
Family members were too upset to speak with us on camera tonight. Sources tell me that mother remains hospitalized in critical condition. We're live on the West Side. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 26 News.
Wow. That's such a fucking.
That's right. I remember we did that case, and I think somebody drugged him in the bar.
You don't think it was a crazy brother?
I wonder what caused
No.
the congresswoman to take interest in this. Ogden, when you first covered it, was there anything that would stand out to where the congresswoman would, speak out on this one case?
It was a possible lynching. It was a possible lynching.
Yeah,
Because
also
a black man was seen leaving a bar, and then he got found a month later, face down in a
No,
canal.
remember, if he was when they don't have a suspect, it could
It's a
possibly
lynching.
be a white person. Like if that guy had just got shot that night at the club by some sunmen, she would never ask for.
That's what I'm saying. You would have never seen her face. That's why I'm curious what triggered her.
It was in a white neighborhood too. It was some Irish club bar, and I think he was a swirler.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, but I think
Got
a
you.
biracial kid.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was hanging out in the white neighborhood, and he ended up missing.
Thank you.
Since its social media split about a deadly shooting at a Houston taco shop. It happened last night at Ranchito number 4. A masked man walked in, and you're looking at the video right now, pay close attention, with a fake gun. And
Who is that? Is that a Sunman or is that Hombrito?
Sitting or standing?
No, the fucking guy cleaning the air conditioner.
Sunman.
He moves sunny.
That's a Sunman. Look at the pants.
Yeah, he moved hella sunny.
A masked man walked in,
And look at
you're
how he
looking
waves
the
the
video
gun
right
around.
now.
Yeah.
Pay close attention, with a fake gun, and he pointed it at customers while taking their money and wallets.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about, Marcy. That's what you. No,
Yep.
Marcy. now
Hey,
tell me-
I'm about that too. That's exactly what needs
Hold
to
on,
happen.
hold on. You got stones for this. You got stones for this, Marcy.
Yes.
To do this, you could literally shoot this guy in his back.
Absolutely. Okay, Mossy, you go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Because well, for one, you don't know if the gun is real. Because a lot of guys, if they use fake guns, they have the orange cap, they'll take it off. And you gotta ask yourself: is it a gamble? Is it worth the gamble?
That don't even bring up if the gun's fake or not.
What I'm saying is, even you don't find out it's fake till later on. But at that moment, you got to take it as if it is a real gun. And generally, and as things are going on right now, they'll rob, and then for a thrill, they'll just kill people before they leave, just for the fuck of it.
His homeboy looks used to it too. Ain't even looking at him. He's just like, damn, I'm about to shoot someone else again. It seems like it'd be easier to shoot him in the back. You know, you have to deal with him.
And just to add to what Marcia is saying, also, you got to wait your turn in some of these self-defense shootings. Like he said, he could have, even though he had a fake gun, or let's say he had a real one, he could have taken everybody's money, then come back and shoot everybody later. You wouldn't know. So to put him down like this is absolutely justifiable, in my opinion.
You even see the guy.
You don't let a rabid dog run because it's convenient.
Yeah, and then
absolutely.
Yeah, and you see the guy in the top left hand corner with his hands up, and he has it pointed at him. So it's like why? So you don't know if he's gonna just start shooting people for fun. I say the guy that he made the right decision to shoot him.
I watched this clip several times on Twitter. He's waiting for an opportunity when the guy's not looking at him. He's trying to reach for it, and then the guy looks back over at him, so he kind of hides. And when the guy turns his back, that's when he pulls, because he didn't want to pull it out and have the guy point the gun at him and start shooting.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to wait his turn.
He picks his moment.
Absolutely.
But if it is a gun and it's pointed at somebody, that is shooting a guy that is committing a crime in defense of another, and that is fully legal.
Yo, it doesn't matter if it's a gun or not. He's presenting it as a gun, even if it has his finger in his pocket. Like,
I'm not
fuck
even
him.
considering that. It doesn't matter if he had his hand in his pocket doing like this with his finger. It doesn't. I don't care whether it's a gun or not. All I'm talking about is, would you do that?
Yes.
He should have stood over.
You know,
in the preservation of life, absolutely.
You notice the guy he threw his stuff on the floor. He was trying to find the right opportunity to get the guy distracted so he can shoot him.
Yeah,
but he wasn't able to, because he picked it up, but he still was able to. But he could have got shot.
A masked man walked in, and you're looking at the video right now. Pay close attention, with a fake gun, and he pointed it at customers while taking their money and wallets. One of those customers took action. You're looking at it right now. We stopped it there so you won't see the actual shooting. He can be seen on surveillance video at the restaurant pulling out his real gun. He shot and killed the would-be thief.
Killed him.
There are no charges at this moment. Police say they want the customer to come forward so they can make a statement in this case. Let's bring in our guest, George Abrego, owner of HTX Tactical, a gun shop, an attorney, and former judge, Charles Adams. So, Charles, when you see that video, and of course we stopped it, but he shot the guy as he was robbing people in the back. And many people are saying in the back, that's foul play. But your thoughts on that legally?
I think they're completely wrong. I think that video completely exonerates him under Texas law. You have the affirmative defense of self-defense. If you reasonably believe your life is being threatened by a criminal exerting deadly force. But you also have the affirmative defense of third parties when you reasonably believe someone else is criminally threatening the lives of others. The only way this would matter is if the shooter knew that it was a fake gun or an airsoft gun. But if you look at that room of people cowering under tables, and you look at his individual behavior, it's not the behavior of someone that knows it's a fake gun. He was tactically waiting for an appropriate opportunity where that gun was pointed in another direction. Another news station, I'm not going to name them, claimed that the robber was leaving. And I think engendered a lot of this. It's completely false.
If he were leaving, does it matter?
Well, I think he had to know he was leaving. When that shooting occurred, he was still in the dining room, still threatening people with a gun, and it was absolutely and completely lawful, to the point that if this man still hasn't contacted the police and he has not contacted an attorney, I'll represent him for free because I know he's completely innocent. He's a hero. He's a good Samaritan. Thank God for Houstonians like him.
Now, Charles, if he doesn't come forward soon, but they have that video that's still of him, could he face any charges whatsoever?
Well, you know, when a police officer shoots someone, whether lawfully or unlawfully, the other police officers investigating that shooting always give that officer time to talk to an attorney, time to go away, time to be by himself before he has to give that statement. I think this man was very intelligent in exercising his use of force and deciding to remove himself from the situation. And I think at some point he should talk to law enforcement, but he should only do that after he engages and talks to a lawyer. He needs to go find someone that he trusts to represent his interests.
But if he doesn't come forward ever on his own will,
right,
what will he face?
I don't think he should face anything. He didn't commit a crime.
But what will he face under the law?
I don't think he will face anything. It was clear that he is absolutely...
Wow, he doesn't even have to talk to police? That's something that I think
that's
those
called
people...
your,
Hold on.
your
That's
First
something
Amendment
that...
right.
Those people that come from California, that's coming to Texas from California, there's no way they're going to stand for this shit. They're going to vote this shit out.
Good luck.
Exactly.
Texas has gone. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what I was saying, I feel like probably Texas and Florida, like, the golden conservative savior states, probably within 10 years, those states will be completely California. Because everybody's moving there, so there's nothing you can do.
I doubt it.
Oh yeah, Texas will fall. Texas will fall in
But
10 years.
here's another thing though. Like, I don't like that he doesn't, that there's no investigation about it. Like, it's just like, because what if there was no video camera? What if there was no videotape and it was just witnesses?
If there was no video camera, they would have to get an investigation. They also said a lot of the patrons left too.
There will be an
They didn't talk to
investigation.
They didn't talk to cops.
But he said if he doesn't come in, nothing happens.
They have no charges to file against him if he doesn't come in.
But when in a criminal case, if you're a person of interest and they don't have charges filed against you, they still want to speak with you.
Self-defense isn't a criminal case.
Damn, but
It's
yeah,
a
but it
lawful
doesn't.
killing.
No, but doesn't it have to be determined to be self-defense?
No,
That's what the
no.
camera's for.
They have to prove
notice
that
the
it
guy
isn't.
said that. Notice the guy said in an affirmative self-defense, and that's what I was telling you, Ak. They have to prove that he was not shooting in self-defense. He has to do nothing.
Oh wow!
And that's the difference between, say, Illinois and Texas or Kansas or any of the other states that have that affirmative defense.
Wow.
And they actually recommend that you don't talk to police at all when there's a self-defense shooting, except maybe to say, hey, it's a self-defense shooting, investigated as. But if it's
Correct.
at a restaurant with security cameras, you know that they got it on camera, and you don't have to worry about that. So you don't have to talk to cops at all. You talk
Right.
to your lawyer first, and then they come over and say, "Oh, well, this is obviously self-defense. Why are you going to try to charge my client or anything?"
Right.
And watch them just squirm.
And even if their lawyer contacts the police, that lawyer has no duty to tell police his name.
I want to say in most of these cases, when we have somebody who uses their firearm in self-defense, usually they stay on the scene and they talk, and they
Correct,
stay on the
correct.
scene. And when that does happen, that is when the self-defender can tell the police, hey, look, I'm not under any obligation to speak to you. I will wait. I will take my Fifth Amendment and I will speak to a lawyer before I speak to you. 9 times out of 10.
But how
they
many
take-
times? But how many times do the police arrest them and then stick them in a room and keep them there for 10 or 15 hours? Just, oh, we'll give you some water. We'll give you this. We may let you go to the restroom every once in a while, but we're trying to break you down so you'll talk to us.
It
Oh,
does.
But if
That does.
asking
That
for
does
the
happen. That
that's
does
an
happen.
illegal.
But
That's
exactly.
an illegal arrest
It is illegal. Absolutely. That
in an
does
affirmative
happen.
defense state.
Yeah, that does happen. But in those cases, the self-defender, majority of these guys that carry concealed, they know majority of the time they know the law.
They know the
And
law, right?
They know, hey, they need to keep their mouth shut.
Yep.
And in any case where they have to use their firearm in self-defense.
And they know the games that the investigators are going to play on them. You just got to stand firm.
Wow.
Even though it's hard to get rid of those tactics if you don't have a lawyer there, and they'll stall and they'll come over and they'll get in front of you and they'll talk. Oh, well, this is our theory of the case, and wait for you to contradict them and thus waive your right to be silent.
That's
They
why you got
like
to
to
stay
try to
firm.
trick you.
That's why you got to stay firm.
But a lot of that shit
Totally
got
exo-
taken care of in the Trayvon Martin case. Because the state of Florida, since they illegally arrested and charged him, had to pay for his entire defense from that trial. Because that
So
was an
how-
illegal arrest from the start.
Absolutely exonerated. He did nothing wrong, and he did nothing wrong by leaving. He removed himself from a situation after trying to save the lives of everyone in that room. He's
All
a
right.
hero.
George, let's bring you into this conversation. Should anyone attempt this?
Well, look, I would have to say, first of all, this is a perfect example of why we advocate for concealed carry, legal concealed carry, why we push for citizens to carry firearms and to practice. This guy, obviously, he knew what he was doing. He's practiced before. He
You
did.
can even see the stance and
Oh yeah, and he
you
waited
know.
for the right moment to shoot. You know, he didn't pull out his weapon as soon as the robber walked in and shot right then and there. You know, he waited till it was his time and look, this is it. Let's do it. You know, and you know it went very well. So, should everybody do it? You know, I can't say that.
Could this have gone bad?
It could have gone very bad. It could have. You know, thank God that everything went well, and thank God the gun
When
was
that
safe.
first shot went through that guy's fucking torso, I know he was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Because I think the guy shot him like 5 or 6 times.
He
I know
found out.
was like, what the? Because he's walking around that thing with he's the alpha in that room. He's got all the confidence.
Yeah.
You
He's
know, and
cocky
then-
as F.
And then it's just like boom, boom, boom. I mean, and you know, those
Yeah.
like from close range. I mean, this is very close. This is 3 feet. No, it's 2 feet.
You found out, Ock.
Yeah, fucked around
Of
and
course.
found out.
Yep.
But again, I say this all the time: practice, practice, practice with your weapon. If you're gonna carry a gun, practice. Take a class. Go to the range. Put some shots down range every month or so. Practice, practice, practice. Know your weapon. Know how to control it. Know how to handle it.
So, Charles, if this guy never comes forward, and we've seen the video, and somebody knows it,
right?
But if he never comes forward, what happens in this case?
Well, I think eventually they're going to present it to a grand. I think they'll identify him. They have not just his picture, but they have the vehicle that he was driving.
right.
I imagine they're able to ascertain the license plate. I think they will absolutely identify him. At some point, he should talk to law enforcement, but he should only do that with a lawyer, right? But I don't think anything happens to him either way. I think that video is controlling. And while I think it's a tragedy when anyone's killed, and I hate that that robber lost his life, but I am glad that he lost his life instead of someone else. And George makes the perfect point, right? Guns are not magic wands. We saw the homeowner killed when he ran out and confronted the car thieves just 2 weeks ago here in Houston. People sometimes think a gun just changes a situation if you're the good guy, but it doesn't. You have to practice. You have to learn that weapon, and you have to know it. And in fact, if you're not going to put that time in, get some pepper spray or get some other less than lethal.
And you have to
but
be
I don't think
smart
anything
about
legally
it, too.
happens to this man. I think this man deserves a key to the city and possibly a mural. I think he's the kind of hero that Houstonians are made of, and I don't think he has any legal liability.
Now, George, I had a baton.
I saw that, and I messaged you. I was like, don't tell me you're carrying a baton. We got to get you.
Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor.
Wow.
Anyway, well, kudos to him. If he carries a baton because that's all he can handle.
We start with
that's
breaking
something.
news. Sources.
Yeah, I mean, everything ain't for everybody, man.
I know.
That's for sure. Everything is not for everybody. Let's see.
Homeboy timed it perfect though.
Hey, but
Yeah.
Ak, let me ask you this, or let me ask everybody else this. What does this say to the criminals in that neighborhood or in that community when the average citizen is armed? In my opinion, that cuts down on a lot of crime. If you know that the citizenry has arms, you are less likely to commit a crime.
Yeah,
The Bureau of Justice has done the surveys where they ask criminals what they're most afraid of, and it's an armed suspect or subject. It's not the police.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does make a more polite society, so it definitely makes a less criminal society, man. Oh yeah, we got an update on our squeegee boys, man. Make sure y'all hit the PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Support the channel, guys. Only station is bringing you this hard hitting news, man, from around the country, man. Let's see. Squeegee boy update.
And today, the city will hold a job fair for squeegee workers to help get them off the streets just days before the mayor begins his long-awaited squeegee collaborative plan. Miana Massey joining.
So they're doing a lot. They're putting a lot into these squeegee boys, man.
How many they have to pay to show up to this?
What's the date of this report? Because they've been doing the Squeegee Collaborative for about 3 to 4 months now.
Are they only doing this because of that one guy who decided to shoot back when his mom got robbed of the with the Cash App or something like that? Is this the reason why they are holding a job fair for them?
No, I think
No, they're doing it when they.
problem for a while.
Yeah, and then when the glider was murdered, that heightened the urgency because and this has been going on for months, years of them just taking advantage of people coming into the city, especially gliders. And then when the glider was murdered,
this is downtown. This is not. These kids are not like in some fucking hood on the edge of town.
Exactly.
This is downtown where the fucking the lifeblood of the city. This is where all the tall buildings are, where all the people with suit and ties are working at. They're right in the heart of downtown doing this shit.
The economic center of the city.
Yeah, exactly. Salute to Deluxe 247, the real MVP, aka Cal Ripken. Salute to you, man.
Salute.
Is definitely. This shit right here. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think they could never do this in the hood. They could never operate like this in the hood. They get their fucking heads knocked off. They can only do this downtown in a democratically run city.
Squeegee collaborative plan. Miana Massey joining us live to break down the details of all that's to come, which many say is a long time coming, Miana.
Yeah, well, Cena, like you said, this is all a part of Mayor Brandon Scott's Squeegee Collaborative Plan, and it's been long awaited. And so he's actually providing youth in our city with opportunities and better pathways to educational and job opportunities for them. So today, the mayor will gather with city council members and also community members to really just introduce youth ages 14 to 24 to a career zone. There they'll feature opportunities for interviews, mental health education, and also they'll provide opportunities for grooming services. Now, starting next week, no squeegee zones will be established in 6 areas. This is where squeegee activity has been most prevalent. This includes President Street, MLK Boulevard, Sinclair and Moravia, Northern Parkway and Wabash, also Light and Conway Streets. Now, in these zones, enforcement will include 2-strike warning systems. Now, that's before a
2-strike warning systems.
Yo, can you imagine being a glider and seeing them cats roll up on your car?
Yeah,
MLK Boulevard, that's the suit and tie area?
Yeah, I mean, these kids are not fucking in the fucking hood running up on people's cars.
Right. I mean, they literally, like, if a glider is trying to help them and say, okay, well, I'll cash app you a couple dollars, they will snatch the phone and literally rob the glider of everything in their account.
Yep, clean it out completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
They even scared me to the point where I deleted my Cash App off of my phone.
So
Real
tell
talk.
us what happened. What happened?
No. I'm not. I mean, I didn't come across them, but just from your reports and me following Baltimore news, I said, well, let me try to, alleviate it. And I just, I'll send a person a Cash App if they, do a job or something for me. But as soon as I'm done with that, I take it off. I delete it off my phone.
You uninstall the app?
Yes.
That's why I looked at Cash App. I looked at it, and it says you have to link it to a bank account. You can't preload it like a debit card. It's like, if I can't preload it like a debit card, I know exactly how much is on there, I ain't using it.
Yeah, once it's sent, it's gone.
Yeah.
Citation is issued. Today's event is really just working to provide better opportunities.
We have a plan. There's support for the plan across the board.
I think it's a good idea. It's a lot better than them standing on the corner trying to wash the windows and trying to get money.
Ma'am, they want to be there on the. She's one of the people that thinks like they given the opportunity to sit in a fucking job site constrained by 4 walls and a manager and a time clock and rules and regulations and codes and shit. They would take that over fucking robbing people and fucking smoking weed and hanging out with their homeboys.
Yeah, because that's all it is. It's extortion, period.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in 2023 needs someone to wash their windows. You have freaking windshield wipers and windshield wiper fluid and fluid.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Almost every gas station has washer fluid and the
not the hood ones, bro.
There.
Not the ones here because they steal them.
Yeah.
Yo, to their point too, there was a company that opened up in Detroit, and they thought they were gonna do real good. They were offering everybody
breaking up bad, bro. Like you breaking up bad. Like I don't know what it is. You might want to go out and come back in, because it's like your it's like I don't know, some crazy noise. You got LA Thorn. What's up, LA Thorn? Oh God, what's your thoughts on this, LA Thorn?
To be perfectly honest with you, Ak, man, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna be as effective as people think, because
I don't think
these after-school programs don't fucking help that much.
Yeah. I don't think this is gonna be effective at all. I think this is gonna be. They're giving them 2 straight. They're creating no squeegee zones, but they're saying you got 2 strikes to be down there. If you get caught the first time, you don't get in trouble. You get caught the second time, you don't get in trouble. It's the third time. We're not gonna come on, man. What's the odds of a squeegee boy getting caught 3 times. It's so many of them. What's the odds of one of them getting caught 3 times in a no squeegee?
And I
It's just
guarantee
like
that's
those
going to be
APL
3
water boys,
times in
man.
one day.
What's the average age of these guys? Are these mostly
He
teenagers?
said 14 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, you nailed it. Because I'm about to say there's older ones too. You nailed it, bro.
Yeah, man.
Windows and trying to get money.
And so the resource and hiring event will kick off today from 3 to 7. That's at the UA House at Fayette. Now, this entire plan will kick into effect. That's on Tuesday, and it will cost about $5 million. Now, a portion of that cost will come from private donations. I mean,
$5 million could be used, but I guess fuck it, you gotta.
Playing before a
Yeah.
sold-out crowd at the Smoothie King Center.
A lot of people at the blender
Go
today.
ahead. What's
Fans are
up?
I put a product.
I was gonna say is that $5 million
And
could go for a lot for like startup businesses, man.
Yeah.
I put a product in the private chat here. This is a guy I know, and this is a system that he made. It's pepper spray for outside your vehicle.
You mean for to out your window?
Yeah, no, out over the top of your car.
So what happened? I'll look at it in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, pull it up, and it's got a video.
Okay, let me see. You put it in the back chat.
So what is it? Like a cannon from your vehicle or some shit? Like or
It
like a
looks
small
it looks like a little antenna, like you have on most cars, like an OnStar
like
antenna.
It's an overhead sprayer.
Yeah, but it's got 4 nozzles.
It's crazy. This shit is
I mean,
crazy.
that doesn't beat what they do in South Africa. They had the flamethrowers underneath the car. That's better.
Oh, on my British Ferret, I actually have a hull shocker.
A what shocker?
A hull shocker.
What's that?
It electrifies the entire outside body of the vehicle.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So this is what you need for the squeegee boys.
I got something better. Why don't you just have a ISIS guy just wire up a bomb?
Oh shit! Listen, if you did that, those guys would fucking put all types of dents in your car. They would throw shit at your car. Your car would come out looking like goddamn fucking bumper car or some shit after they got through with your shit. If you did this ain't gonna work with
They would be so many holes in that car. Forget about kicking. They would light that car up. I mean, I like the invention, but these dudes, the squeegee dudes in Baltimore, they packing.
Yeah, they'll start shooting after this. Yeah,
They would fucking light that car up.
In South Africa, they have something like that, but it's a flamethrower underneath the car, so it blows actual flames from underneath the car around the doors. So if you're on the outside of that, then you're cooked. I think that's better.
You need something like James Bond. You know, what do you got from Q?
Definitely better, but definitely illegal.
It's definitely
Yeah,
dangerous.
if they had that in the U.S., they would fry your butt on the DA.
Yeah.
How about this? How about instead of pepper spray, it's sprayed lye?
They would still shoot the shit up without that car.
Yeah, like you talking about something that's not immediate. Like you got to put them to sleep. These kids
Yes.
are dangerous, man. Like I think people don't understand like how dangerous these Santia. Let's New Orleans.
Playing before a sold-out crowd at the Smoothie King Center.
A lot of people at the blender today. Fans are now returning to their cars. We hope and pray that they were not broken into. It comes after a string of break-ins by the Smoothie King Center. Eleanor Tabone joining us now live. Hopefully some good news, Eleanor.
That's right, Devin and Charisse. Now, before we arrived here at the Smoothie King Centre, like you mentioned, the game just finished. We drove around at all the surface parking lots and the side streets where we think people typically park when they're coming to a game, and we did not see any vehicles that were broken or smashed into. Now, this comes after a string of burglaries. Earlier in the week, there was 62 cars broken into in Jefferson Parish. Then on Wednesday evening after a game, there were multiple cars broken into, outside the Smoothie King Centre. Now, NOPD is reassuring both the NBA and residents that they will be safe, their cars will be safe. Now, when we were driving around earlier this evening and before we set up here tonight, we saw NOPD cars patrolling all the parking lots, especially those parking lots that aren't very lit. Now, this is what was said to us earlier when it comes to keeping our vehicles and people safe. New Orleanians love sports, but that love is being usurped by the possibility of returning to your car and finding it broken into.
There's 3 to 5 cars, 7 to 10 cars that's getting broken into, valuables being stolen, guns, money, anything they could find.
Dozens of cars in a parking lot near the Smoothie King Centre were burglarized during a Pelicans game Wednesday. And that's in the back of many fans' minds as they park their cars before heading to the game tonight.
My vehicle, I believe, should be safe with them there.
We saw NOPD patrolling some of the surface lots around the Smoothie King Centre. A fan says those patrols need to increase. Fans who come to the Smoothie King or the Dome have to park somewhere, and many choose to park on the street simply because it's free. But when all those spots are taken up, the second best option are these surface lots. But look how dark it is. Not a single light installed. And the only light we see is the lights on top that NOPD officer's car.
If a parking lot is not well lit, I would suggest you find one that has security, that is well lit, that you can get to, and where people walking can see what's going on in that parking lot.
NOPD Chief Deputy Superintendent Hans Ganthier says the department has a plan to stop the car break-ins happening during Pelicans games, working with analytics to determine where exactly the break-ins are happening so they can direct patrol.
We will use a lot of overtime for that. We have offered overtime for that. I know the 8th District detectives are working on an overtime basis. Our patrol officers that are working that are also, a lot of them will be on overtime. However, we have directed some of our normal patrols, if they're not on calls, to be on those occasions as well.
They need to remain here at the entire time, from start to finish, not sit in one spot, actually drive around if there's any
Oh my God, the system's picky, man. These systems
and go home and check her drawer. She's got 3 BLM t-shirts.
and
defund the police.
And if one of those Sun teams is breaking into a car and a cop catches him in the act, chases him, there's a scuffle, a video goes viral, she's going to be in the comment section bitching about the cops.
Heck, if they chase him and he pulls a gun and starts to point it at him and they shoot him dead, there'll be a protest.
Yeah, this is putting cops right in the crosshairs. I'm totally against this, man, because these types of crimes put you in direct conflict with a Sun team that's going to be running. He's going to be desperate, even though
he was just stealing from a car. Why'd you have to kill him?
Yeah, this is very.
I mean,
he chose that life.
I mean, you got people like stealing Chargers, Challengers, Hyundais and Kias and all that, man. So, it's not a real incentive to buy those types of cars, even though some of them may be cheap,
They need to remain here at the entire time, from start to finish, not sit in one spot, actually drive around. If there's any suspicious activity, I think they should be checking it out.
Those distinct blue and white lights reassuring those parking in car parks.
To be honest, the only reason I parked right here is because I saw the cops. Usually I'll go into like a parking garage, but that's still not the best.
One fan says he made sure to empty out his car before parking.
I mean, you worry, but you try not to bring anything that you know that they could take. I got nothing in my truck that they would want.
Devin and Cherise, some advice there. Now, if you choose to park when you're coming to the Dome or the Smoothie King Centre, try and park somewhere where there's a lot of light so you can see it, you feel safe. Never leave anything valuable in plain sight. If you need to leave it in your car, hide it under the seat, put it in the glove compartment. Also, some advice from law enforcement, never leave your gun inside the car, leave it at home. And if you park your car at home, make sure you also take it inside with you. Reporting live, Eleanor Tabone.
What? Leave your gun at home?
Yeah, I got an
New
issue
details
with.
tonight on this Uptown.
Yeah, I would have an issue with that. I mean, you should be able to take your firearm in that particular place unless it's a private property that says you can't take your gun. But keeping your firearm in your vehicle, you should be able to do that. Or you're going to have to lock it up.
I think they ought to be able to rent lockers for you to be able to lock your firearms up at the stadium before you go in, because that way you're not defenseless when you go back to your car.
Exactly. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. This is where you're at, though. This is where you're at. You're at the place where kids know that the easiest way to find a gun is to break into cars and go look for guns. It's like trick or treat, Easter egg hunting for guns. They do that. They break into cars. They're looking for guns. That's where you're at now. So now you have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? The reality of the situation. You can't.
If you're going to go somewhere where you have to leave your gun in your car, you better have a safe in the car that they can't get into.
Yeah, you can't leave your gun in your car. Man.
New details tonight on this Uptown shooting. A man riding his bike Wednesday night saw people breaking into cars, and as he rode off, the suspect started shooting, hitting him in the elbow. That man is now home from the hospital, and speaking to CBS 2's Sabrina Franza. Sabrina, how is he doing?
Erica, that victim came out to talk to us wearing the same coat that he was wearing on Wednesday when this happened, and it was riddled with small bullet holes along the seam of his jacket. He didn't want to speak with us on camera because he said he feared retaliation, but he did tell us that this was so bad and it could have been worse.
Evidence markers on the ground counted shell casings. One for each hole we saw piercing that Good Samaritan's jacket. He was riding his bike late Wednesday around 11 p.m. when that victim told us he noticed someone breaking the glass of a car. The victim understood. He said he'd seen people break into cars before and knew he had to do something to stop it. That 42-year-old rode.
What? Am I the only one that perplexed by that?
If you're going to be a good Samaritan, and in that case, and you don't have any tools with you, if you don't think you can actually physically take that person, you shouldn't try to intervene. If you're going to be a good Samaritan in that case, just observe and report. That would be the best case.
Yeah.
He said
it's called civic responsibility. It runs rampant in white communities.
Yeah. It like I feel what you're saying, like I understand it, but like if everybody takes that approach, no one does shit. So sometimes someone has to get shot up.
The guys that breaking in the cars are wild ass Sun teens strapped and quick to shoot.
If he's a glider, he probably doesn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. They've been programmed differently, man.
Yeah.
They've been programmed differently. They think everybody's the same, and hey, it's just a lack of opportunity or whatever. So they're like, "Let me help," and then they get shot up.
It's my fault.
They apologize as they bleed out.
Evidence markers on the ground counted shell casings. One for each hole we saw piercing that Good Samaritan's jacket. He was riding his bike late Wednesday around 11 p.m. when that victim told us he noticed someone breaking the glass of a car. The victim understood. He said he'd seen people break into cars before and knew he had to do something to stop it. That 42-year-old rode his bike a half block away from Montrose and Magnolia to Racine, tried to call 911. Someone followed him, shot him in the elbow. He says another bullet grazed his head, and then the shooter fled.
You do anything as
So
possible
he didn't confront
to
him.
walk away from
He
the
went-
station.
Michael
He rode
Kogan
him half
is
a
a
block away and tried to call the police, and they saw him see them, and right away, probably reaching for his phone, and they chased him down to stop him.
He got shot for being he got shot for being a witness.
To a car break-in. They're trying to kill people who witnessed them breaking cars. This is bad.
And that shows you how dumb they are, because if they paid attention, you don't even get in trouble for that.
Exactly.
Again, it's a thrill. we're past the point of there being any material motive behind shooting people for valuables. Now it's just a thrill of it.
Yeah, this is
it's human hunting at this point.
Exactly, that's what it says.
Followed him, shot him in the elbow. He says another bullet grazed his head, and then the shooter fled.
You do anything as possible to walk away from any situation.
Michael Kogan is a self-defense expert. He's trained civilians, cops, and military personnel. He said the first step is to get as far away as possible. This victim, though,
Move to a
was
glider
followed.
neighborhood.
Everything on you can be used as a weapon. People don't realize this. Your shoes, your phone again, pencil, belt, key. It's a weapon.
In Wednesday's case, he suggests using the bike as a blockade or a distraction, throwing it in front of the shooter. It could buy a few valuable seconds.
Wow.
What?
This guy's a fucking idiot.
He's gonna get people killed. Bust out a cape. Yeah, good luck,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, this is bad advice, man. You just run. How about that?
Key. It's a weapon.
In Wednesday's case, he suggests using the bike as a blockade or a distraction, throwing it in front of the shooter. It could buy a few valuable seconds.
People most of the time don't know what to do. They just freeze.
Which is why it's so
know
important to
what-
think about your next move before that situation even happens.
Now, police have not yet made any arrests in this case. That victim still has that bullet lodged in his elbow. He said it's a sad reminder to him to never get involved in something like this ever again. We're live and up now. Sabrina
he was
Frost,
a
CBS
witness.
2 News.
You can't help that.
Thank you.
Even if he wrote
Thank
even
you.
if he
In the
wrote
wake
a
of
block
yesterday's
away,
mass
you still-
shooting,
the bullet
some
was
were
still
quick to
catching.
point the
Yeah.
Thank you. In the wake of yesterday's mass shooting, some were quick to point the finger at the businesses at the troubled Edmondson Village Shopping Center for selling to students and minors during the school day.
Some are questioning how the students were able to
They're
leave.
blaming the businesses
You know,
for
if
selling to the minors.
Popeyes didn't have such delicious hot chicken, this wouldn't be a problem.
Damn, man. Mayo.
No,
Mayo's
but
salivating
think,
right
think
now.
about it from the business point of view, right? The school's allowing these kids to come over there, whether by rule or not. And
Yeah.
who is going to buy food from that business with all them kids standing outside? And what's your chance of catching violence if you deny them access to the store?
Yeah, I mean, those are all great points.
They're caught in a catch-22.
Exactly, but it's a catch-22 where you have to have like you have to have just like awareness of what's going on. You can't be like some bureaucrat or some school administrator where you just think of everything linearly. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, why can't they like if the kids weren't at the store, then when the shooting came, they wouldn't have been congregated, then the shooter wouldn't have a target. And then, like, they literally are blaming Popeyes for these kids getting sprayed up in front of their store. They're not the shooter, Popeyes.
Yeah, for that delicious chicken.
Yo, that was like
Popeyes has nothing to do with them standing out in the store. They can trespass them, but they have to call the police on the Sun team.
They're on lunch though.
Yeah.
Someone with intelligence would see that's an actual insult. You're telling me that I can't refrain from doing the wrong thing because of delicious, tasty chicken?
No, you can't refrain from doing the wrong thing because of anything. There's nothing that can make you.
That delicious, tasty chicken turns you into a savage, sir.
That chicken got them there, and then yeah.
Chicken causes death. We've seen this many times.
Right.
You know what? I knew it was dumb when they protested in front of the store that Mike Brown robbed like every year afterwards. Like, yo, dog, like my man was just there being robbed. I don't know what you mad at him for.
Yeah, your mic is making
You
that
popping
noise,
real bad,
too.
Razzle.
Yeah,
I'll leave. I can't fix it, man. Y'all be well.
Change your mic. Maybe it's your mic because it sounds like a microphone. It doesn't sound like the normal popping from YouTube or StreamYard.
Is that better?
No.
Nah.
Sucks. All right, I'll leave. Hey, I'll just watch y'all. Have a
Hey,
good one, y'all.
try turning the mic level down.
Okay,
'Cause I
bet.
think it's maxing out.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, man. This is insane, man.
Thank you. In the wake of yesterday's mass shooting, some were quick to point the finger at the businesses at the troubled Edmondson Village Shopping Center for selling to students and minors during the school day.
Some are questioning how the students were able to leave school grounds in the middle of the day. Fox 45's Amy Simpson takes a closer look.
No students inside Edmondson Westside High School today, with classes canceled a day after yesterday's deadly mass shooting at the shopping center across the street. 5 students were shot. One of them, a 16-year-old, died from his injuries. Yesterday afternoon, both the police commissioner,
students at Edmondson Westside High School, which is right across the street, and were in this area on their lunch break,
and the neighborhood's city councilman
We're just coming up here on their lunch break. It's heartbreaking.
said the high schoolers were at the shopping center during lunch hour. Today, Fox 45 News questioned Baltimore City Schools on the policy for students leaving campus during the school day and whose responsibility it is to enforce those rules. In a lengthy statement this afternoon, the district said it's a system-wide requirement for students to stay on campus during school hours, a rule that schools proactively communicate to families and students. Most recently, a reminder going out to Edmondson High School in December. And while city schools said it's the school administration's responsibility to enforce the rules, the district relies on the surrounding community for protection and support. But as the investigation was just getting underway,
school
into
failed.
who fired the gun.
Look at this picture though. Look at this guy and look at this girl. They're both do the same job. Both these
Boss
people.
Hog, and then the lady on Police Academy.
Both these people do the same job. That
make fun of Hicks like that.
There's something wrong with that, man.
She literally looks like the lady from Police Academy with the munchy voice.
Stop doing that, Marcy.
It's just
Hooks.
crazy. Man.
Thank you. Eyes cry not. Hooks.
Well, and how's the big guy supposed to chase sun teens?
No, you know who the big guy is? Remember on I think it was 2, the big guy that would eat the fat.
He might have a 6'5", 40.
That would eat things out the trash can and stuff. He was Mahoney's partner for a little bit.
Yeah, he had the bad hygiene.
Yes.
Yeah, he threw that stock against the wall and stuck.
Just
He
getting
looks like
underway.
Tony Soprano
Into who
sidekick.
fired the guns outside of
Yeah.
Popeyes
Oh,
and why.
oh.
Mayor Brandon Scott
name?
pointed to the
Bobby
fast food
Bacala-
restaurant
Bobby
for its role
Bacalari.
in the ordeal.
Bobby B. What's
Bobby
his name?
Bacala.
Bobby
Last name
Bacala.
Stanley.
I love Bobby Bacala, man. He's one of my
Out of
favorites.
Popeyes and why. Mayor Brandon Scott pointed to the fast food restaurant for its role in the ordeal.
This Popeyes has been cited before for selling to minors and students during the daytime.
The mayor's office did not answer questions today about that city ordinance or when this Popeyes was cited. But Fox 45 News found this Baltimore police ordinance,
Are they supposed
which
to ID
dictates a
him?
day curfew
Yeah.
for minors.
Can you
saying
imagine
no
like
minor
denying
under
a
the age
teen
of
chicken?
16 may
Like,
Hold on, I
want
want to hear this ordinance. I want to hear this ordinance.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking impossible to enforce this.
45 News found this Baltimore police ordinance, which dictates a daytime curfew for minors, saying no minor under the age of 16 may remain in or about any public establishment between 7:30 and 3 on any day which the minor is required to be in school.
This is something that shouldn't happen because
Wow. And
That's not a restriction on the businesses. That's a restriction on the person.
yeah, but they said that the local businesses assist them in this. But here's the thing: they're putting the pressure on fucking Habib at the fucking gas station,
Right?
fucking make sure
Because the
some
school
teens
isn't doing their part of keeping them on the property.
Correct. That's what I was
And
going to
you
say.
know, sun teens look like they're like 3 or 4 years older generally.
But it wouldn't matter if the school people just kept them on campus and didn't allow them to roam off campus.
I don't know where you got that from, Johnny. I look very young. I don't know.
He
I don't
talking
know.
about
You, huh?
For people who are not used to judging Sun Men's age, the size of them make them look older.
the mayor talking about Popeye chicken like they slinging dope.
Oh shit.
You know,
Be in
I think
school.
about it
This is
when
something-
I think about when I was in high school. Most of the doors were locked. You couldn't even get outside.
Right.
And you would have all the resource officers and a lot of these guys that were in polos. They would make sure, hey, this guy showed up to this class, you showed up to this class, and if you didn't, they'd call your parents. So
And they post up at the exits.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's
yeah.
And that's why we know it's an easy fix if they really wanted to fix it.
Well,
The
it's
school's
not-
just
there's
ignoring the
nothing easy.
problem that they know of.
Hold on, there's nothing easy about any of this stuff, man.
Yeah, back then the guy could do more shit to the kid to get him to stop, and less kids were trying to sneak out. Like it's one thing feeds to the other.
There's nothing easy about anything dealing with these kids. I mean, you got the parents, you got the politicians.
But these same rules exist in other schools every day,
What kind of school?
and they work.
And they work.
Yeah.
Lock the doors. If the doors are locked and there is an adult at the door in case of emergency, the child can't get out the door.
Is that a fire thing though?
Yeah, but you know the
That's
mayor.
why I said have an adult at the door.
But how many
And if
doors are in
somebody
a
does
school,
sneak
bro?
out a door, the fire alarm goes off.
There you go.
Yeah, but you know the mayor, he's famous for giving a lot of these excuses. He's been he's been
a
trying to get the crime down, and he can't. He just needs to be out of there. He's not serving the city well at all.
Well, I disagree with you. I don't think he's trying to get the crime down.
He's getting the policies that he supported as a
Council
as a
person.
city councilman
Ding ding
shoved
ding.
in his face right now.
Yeah.
They need to ban Popeye.
No,
That's what
no.
he's trying to do.
Don't do
I
that.
mean, literally.
we don't need that.
Stupid. Yeah. But like,
Somebody
even if they
is
catch a
going
kid,
Those parents are going to try and sue Popeyes. Watch.
School. This is something that shouldn't happen because those young people wouldn't be here if they knew they couldn't buy something from this place.
On the front door of that
Uh.
Edmondson Village Popeyes today reads this sign: no students will be allowed to purchase nor consume between the hours of 8 and 3. And in a statement today, Popeyes said, "We closely work with local officials and respect their wishes to not serve students during the school day." The fast food chain went on to say no one from Popeyes was involved in the shooting, but they closed for the day Wednesday, allowing staff to go home after the tragic events in the parking lot outside. And while some blame Popeyes, others in the community disagree.
Those children come from the shopping center, from the school over to the shopping center. They're not even inside of Popeyes. They sitting on the wall of Popeyes.
Boom.
talk that shit.
Boom.
Yep.
Yes.
Spitting
Ding ding ding.
facts.
Bar.
Big facts.
And they
They're
over there
just hanging
smoking and joking
Yep. And talking
and
shit
acting a fool. Yep.
and tweeting and antagonizing each other.
Because you had a bad day, you shot someone down, you smoke a black mall just to turn it around. You say what you say, you tell me don't diss, you puff up your chest and you pull out your gun. The camera don't lie, you're shooting wobbly and you really don't mind. You had a bad day.
So you
Bro, drop the mic and drop off, and you've killed it for the night.
Johnny, we gotta do a duet, Johnny. I gotta get you on one of my songs, man.
Put that to a good beat, man.
Yeah, man.
That was good.
I hate that song, but you made me love it.
Yeah, we had a Sunday.
That was good.
They're not even inside of Popeyes. They sitting on the wall of Popeyes. Popeyes can't control that.
This woman pointing to Baltimore City schools for those students leaving campus.
It should be somebody in the shopping center, and it should be somebody on the corner that's controlling what's going on. They can do better and they could do more. So don't blame the shopping center.
Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
I agree with her, but let's take it one step further. It's the parents. Like, the school can only do so much, but the parents don't do shit.
But did you notice that no one in these stories ever talks about the parents? So what is that telling you? That's futile. Like
The school's already given up trying to enforce it.
Yeah, they don't talk to the parents. There's no result. There's no improvement by involving the parent in these communities.
And let's not forget, all these kids get free lunch at school.
Yeah, exactly. And you breaking up hella bad again too.
God damn it! All right, man. Bye, y'all. Have a great night.
Peace. You too, man.
Yo,
Look for another
great
mic.
Song. Be well.
A
This
judge
is the
made
third one I
history
bought.
today during her swearing-in ceremony at.
Yeah, we got a sister in the building. Another. Oh wow! So wow, this.
A judge made history today during her swearing-in ceremony. At 30 years old, Judge Catherine Thomas is now the youngest district court judge on the bench in the county, and she is also the youngest district judge in the state. Judge Thomas spoke with KPRC2's Taisha Walker about this really big day.
Why are these fucking sisters always fucking the first fucking? Damn, I'm tired of this shit. The first black woman, the first black woman. Man, it's 2023, man. That stuff was fine in the 80s. 2023. Fuck the first black person. Just get it. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this shit?
They worship black
Most
women.
qualified person in.
Yeah.
They worship them.
And why is every fucking place, all the new judges, you notice all the new judges that they're putting in these positions are black women.
Mammies.
That's not by.
That's by design. Yes, it's by
Correct.
design.
No, it's definitely not by accident. It's definitely an agenda.
History today during her
Thanks.
swearing-in ceremony. At 30 years old, Judge
30
Catherine Thomas is now the
30
youngest.
how old was the judge yesterday in Michigan? Where was that?
24?
34.
34?
34. So and this judge is 30. The fucking judges.
But 34 was Supreme Court. That was highest
Yeah, that
court
was the
in
state.
Michigan.
Yeah, that was the state Supreme Court in Michigan. This one is Texas. This is Texas. This is state. This is the state in Texas.
What was you all maturity level at 30 years old?
I was dumb as a box of rocks. I thought I knew. See, 30 when you're 30s, you think you know something.
You think you grown?
You smarter than you are at 20 though, but
Yes.
you know just enough to get in way more trouble than you did at 20.
You're getting to that point where life is about to really throw you a curveball that's going to humble you.
Yeah. I think that's happened at about 20. I think 18, 20, you get humbled really bad. But I think 30, you feel like, okay, I'm still alive. You know what I'm saying? I'm 30. I'm kind of old. All my dreams that I had are they're flushed down the toilet. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. And then right at that time, yeah, you get another fucking curveball. Boom.
That's what I'm saying.
You throw your back out whiffing at it. So it's like it's just fucking but yeah.
Another one is coming.
Yeah, you don't know shit till you're 40, I think.
Yep.
District court judge on the bench in the county, and she is also the youngest district judge in the state. Judge Thomas spoke with KPRC2's Taisha Walker about this really big day and this big milestone only on 2.
Wow.
Catherine Thomas is now officially Judge Thomas.
As of today, I'm officially the youngest elected judge in the state of Texas, district court judge.
Oh my God. This is terrifying.
30-year-old Houston native was sworn in with her proud and prayerful parents by her side and in front of a packed room of supporters. I love you, Lord. Here, There were no laws of the land, only praise, love, and excitement. Her fellow district court judges watched the historic moment from the jury box.
One of the things my mentor told me was that age does not equal experience, and that it doesn't matter how old you are, that you should be confident about the experiences that got you to this point.
Judge Thomas is also the first woman of color to sit on the bench here at the 184th District Court. Thomas, who beat out Lori D'Angelo when she was elected last November, is now the third woman to rule in the 184th District Court.
From trying a number of cases on the district court level, serving at the DA's office, and just my life experiences, going to 2 HBCUs like Spelman and Howard and doing clinical work.
Oh my God! What
Oh,
does
God.
going to HBCU have to do with fucking? Or you gonna be a good judge in that?
Man,
Fuck
I
you.
bet
At least
bet
she wasn't a
she
defense attorney.
smokes. I bet she smokes white offenders, white male offenders.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
HBCU. You're not even supposed to mention that as a judge. You're supposed to just say I went to a college. I went to a great college, 2 great schools. Why mention
Everything about her is race, though.
This
Yeah, but-
is sickening.
Everything.
Sickening.
Jesus
Hey, where's her
Christ.
hairline?
Jesus Christ.
F
DA's office
her
and just my life experiences,
and her
going to 2
mentor.
HBCUs like Spelman and Howard and doing clinical work while at Howard. That's what makes you prepared to be a judge.
She says she'll be fair and impartial on the bench, but also hopes to start a program to provide resources to the youth.
Do not let anyone
Is that her
despise your
son?
youth.
Is that her kid?
Oh yeah, that's her little gremlin.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
Not,
sitting with Granny.
not sure. It could
That's
be
the
just the
problem.
news. That could be just the news channel just saying, you know, this is who
Yeah,
she's
what's
going to
the
be
white
now.
boy next to them?
Yeah, is this the father? Is that
No,
the dad?
I take that bet. I take that bet for $1. I don't think so.
Okay.
Be fair and impartial on the bench, but also hopes to start a program to provide resources to the youth.
Do not let anyone despise your youth, and that you can obtain any goal and dream if you just believe in yourself and work hard.
In downtown
I
Houston,
would hope that a woman at 30 who becomes a judge would have busted her ass so hard that she wouldn't have time to have a fucking kid.
Oh, heck yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's her kid because at least
Yeah.
only mention her parents.
Yeah.
Tanisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson. Katie is off tonight.
Senator Alyssa Curtis, Eyewitness News.
Alyssa.
2 men in a tow truck were shot and wounded on the northwest side near the Kennedy Expressway.
The truck ended up near Pulaski and Palmer, and that's where Eric Rung joins us live with details. Eric.
Well, good morning. The tow truck was just towed out of here a short time ago. We are told that both men that were shot should be okay. They're at the hospital recovering right now. The driver perhaps tried to drive the truck to get help or just get out of danger. Either way, it ended up here near Pulaski and Palmer. It's about a 5-minute drive from where the shots were fired early this morning, around 2 this morning. Police right now say one of the men was hit in the stomach. The other had a graze wound to the head. Police report a person in a dark colored SUV opened fire on the tow truck while it was parked. Detectives continue their investigation. Right now, Chicago police are telling us that no one is in custody. We are live in the Hermosa neighborhood. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
Wow.
2 people are dead and 3 more wounded after a shooting in Central City last night. And sadly, it's not the first time there's been gun violence in that neighborhood. Sam Woodstrom has more.
So this is another mass shooting in fucking New Orleans. God damn.
And it was just chaos. You just hear people screaming, yelling, and crying. That's all you hear.
Lionel Oliver woke up to the sound of gunshots Thursday night.
It's not like an automatic weapon. It was just constant barrage of bullets.
2 people were killed and 3 more wounded outside of his Central City home. Sadly, it's not the first time Oliver's heard gunshots outside his front door.
The gun violence is crazy, man. You hear shots all the time. Like I was just telling him 4 months ago, a bullet came through the house. They shot up literally all these houses.
On that same corner, the New Hope Baptist Church was holding choir practice when the shooting happened.
And thank God they most of them got out before the incident occurred.
Reverend Jamal Weathersby says that the recent violence has
You
people
look like a goddamn Muppet or some shit. Look like Bert or Doesn't he look like one of them characters off of Sesame Street or some shit?
He looked like he's a grocer on Sesame Street.
Yeah, I saw a Twitter post now. They're getting low profile switches that are only about 1/8 of an inch thick that don't really change the profile of the gun very much, so they don't stand out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you can get ones
they
that are
have
flat.
those.
Yeah, you can
They
get
have
ones
those
that are
for
flat.
Yeah, and they mostly have those for the Glocks, and you can 3D print those. All of them. They're illegal, but they effectively will turn a handgun into a machine gun.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first one I saw overseas was a flat profile one, and it was constant full auto. It wasn't selectable.
Cool.
Wow.
Jamal Weathersby says that the recent violence has people afraid to go to the grocery store, drive on the interstate, and even go to church. But while some people see his neighborhood and even the city of New Orleans as a lost cause, he draws his strength from hope that he finds in his faith and in the community around him.
We don't do it alone. We need the police, we need the council, we need the court system, the criminal justice system to all work together.
Because at the end of the day, we're all working towards the same goal.
Just needs to stop at some point. It damn sure needs to stop at some point.
An end to the violence in New Orleans. Sam Winstrom, Eyewitness News.
A Memphis man is out on bond after police say he went on a wild rampage because his pizza order was wrong. 41-year-old Richard Johnson is charged with assault and vandalism. Police say back in November, he ordered a pizza from Domino's on Summer Avenue, and when he picked it up, he claimed it wasn't right. When an employee told them he couldn't return it, but could order again, Johnson allegedly threw the pizza, and the two got into a fight. He left, but 2 hours later, Johnson was seen slashing tires in front of the Domino's restaurant, causing more than $1,300 in damages.
A Powder Springs mom is in big trouble with the law after leading deputies on a chase down Interstate 85 with
Son man would have been airing it out.
unbuckled in the back
He
seat.
aired the tires
Doug
out.
Evans reports.
Powder Springs mom is in big trouble with the law after leading deputies on a chase down Interstate 85 with 5 kids unbuckled in the back seat.
As Fox 5's Doug Evans reports now, that chase hit speeds of more than 120 miles an hour in the pouring rain.
Oh. In the rain, 120 miles per hour, running from the cops in the rain with 5 kids unbuckled in the back seat.
Unbelievable.
The pouring rain, dark window tint, and the low profile of the Dodge Charger. Deputies say they could tell that someone was in the back seat of the car that they just pulled over. They say they just couldn't tell that it was kids, 5 kids, and none of them wearing a seatbelt. Coweta County deputies say they pulled over this Dodge Charger for driving in the rain without headlights, and you can see in the video it was pouring. They say Gloris Hairston is 30 years old from Powder Springs.
Whoo, they look so rough. Oh my God.
Damn. Is that a sister or a son, man?
They could be from Philly.
Tremaine Denson, that's a guy.
Name that guy on the right. I think the guy, I think the son man is on the right, and then this rough chick right here on the left. Oh my goodness.
Mossy, name that rap group.
I was gonna say that Tremaine looked like a Greater Value Project Pat.
Yeah, this is a rough looking group, man. Jesus Christ, man.
In the video, it was pouring. They say Gloris Hairston is 30 years old from Powder Springs. Deputies say her driver's
30?
license has been suspended 6 times, and it wasn't valid that day either. They say the passenger, Tremaine Denson, is 25 from Union City. They say he actually owned the Dodge Charger. He was wanted for probation
she was
violation
driving.
for aggravated assault in Fulton County, and Los Angeles police wanted him for a firearms charge and warned that he might be dangerous to law enforcement. The deputy who pulled over the Charger says he could not see who was in the back seat. What he could see, he says, was Hairston's hand on the gear shift. Here's what happened next. Coweta deputies say in the chase that followed, Hairston's speed topped 120 miles an hour. And then this. They said the video shows her hit another SUV and not stop. The deputy says he tried to pin her in, but the Charger tried to push him into oncoming traffic. Eventually, a deputy performs
Oh
a pit
my
maneuver on
God.
the Charger, and it spins out of control. They say the video shows Tremaine Denson make a run for it, but he would be tackled by a deputy and arrested. Hairston, they say, surrendered. Here's the shocking discovery. Wedged into the small back seat of the Charger, deputies say they found 5 children, Hairston's children, ages 4, 5, 9, 11, and 12. None of them buckled, they say. Deputies say Gloris Hairston, the mom, is facing serious felony charges, aggravated assault, hit and run, fleeing and attempting to elude, child safety seat violations, child cruelty, as well as drug charges. The passenger, Tremaine Denson, is also facing drug and weapon charges, as well as the charges that he was wanted for out of Fulton County and Los Angeles. The children, they were unhurt and were turned over to a relative. In Coweta County, Doug Evans, Fox 5.
Unbelievable, man.
Why not charge attempted murder of a police officer?
Yeah,
And children.
Yeah, the complete disregard for the kids is
Right.
just something is unbelievable. I'm surprised child services didn't take him, but if it's a relative, that's a better outcome. But my goodness,
Not dependent on the relative.
Yeah, you're right. But definitely, I think they definitely need to go to jail.
There's a term for people like this. Dr. Frances Cress Wilson phrased it, and she said, life unbecoming of life. When you're an adult and you're putting children at risk like that, you don't even deserve to live. You just don't.
Yeah, that 120 miles in the rain, running from the cops. Crazy ass son, man, boyfriend. None of the kids are his.
Ridiculous.
Life.
And I'm
unbecoming
sorry,
of life.
after 5 suspensions, you should probably get your license taken away for
Permanently. Yeah, permanently.
Yeah, you're right. I'm surprised it wasn't just simply revoked. Permanently suspended 6 times, and you still get the privilege of driving. It's that's a little suspect.
Well, yeah.
5 children's lives. You just said, F it.
Yeah.
And people are going to be bitching because there was kids in the car and the cop did a pit maneuver.
Yeah, the cop didn't know that.
That's what the focus is going to be.
Them babies. They could have killed them babies.
Right. That's what the focus is going to be, not the bastards who pulled off and did over 100 miles an hour in the rain.
Yeah, but even what about the first time where they hit the other car?
The
car. Yeah, what about that? Even that is crazy.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like when you see this stuff, you think you've seen it all.
Right.
Like I did a story about like a week ago about a DUI. I thought it was the worst DUI case I'd ever seen. That sister who was with her friend, and she crashed and killed her friend's daughter, and got out the car and ran.
Yeah, they ran.
Yeah, I thought that was the worst DUI case I'd ever seen. Some people, I mean, look, they're good at this shit.
And the daughter was injured. If she gotten help, she could have possibly been saved.
Right. She died from her injuries. It's just, oh, God. And on that note, man, I'm out of here, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Make sure you hit the PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat on the way out. Peace out.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Peace.
I was literally waiting all night for the proper time to drop those bars up.